I see people coming in. I'm probably gonna get in trouble today. Probably gonna get in a little bit of trouble today. Alright, let's share this to a few places. Alright, things acting a little funny, I gotta go to a different. Good morning. Everybody's got their coffee this morning. I'm not gonna make friends today. I hope I do. I hope I do. But can't be friends with everybody. Can't be. You can try to be. Not in a world where everything is a lie and everything's largely controlled. Can't be friends with everybody. Some people are just gonna be the people that they are. Hang on, let me share this. Good morning, good morning. It's Friday. Happy Friday, y'all. Happy Friday. I'm not seeing no comments. Where y'all at? See y'all here? Y'all talking? I can't see. Let me see if I can bring YouTube to the mix. I was thinking I would rather have a warden if I were in prison. We are to a degree. I'd rather have a warden that didn't know what he was doing. I'd rather have a warden. Okay, if I was on a plantation, you was on a plantation. Music, can y'all hear me? Peppermint, chocolate, coffee, what y'all talking about? Good morning. It does not show up when you're up to today's show. Yeah, sometimes it does that, Al. It does that. They kind of play with this thing a little bit. Good morning, Pod and Jasmine and Mary and Rebecca and Brother Jack. Walk. Al. Listen. Walk. Philip. Can't see everybody else. Can y'all see me? Is this good? Are we good? Some funky things are happening this morning. I have that at work. What do you have at work, Brother David? What you got? All right, so first make sure y'all can hear me. Can y'all hear me good? Hey, Linda. Welcome to the house. All right, y'all got your coffee? Step one, can you hear me well? Can you see me well? I'm not sure. I'm gonna make a lot of friends today, but I'm really not trying to. Actually, no, that's a lie. I want to make friends. Everybody want to make friends. Nobody want to be the I used to be the fat kid. Nobody wants to be the little fat kid nobody wants to play with. I want to have friends. I want to make But we have bigger issues. We got big we got a world that's collapsing. The water's always rising. We can't seem to focus on what's important. All right, thank you, Deborah. You can hear me good. All right, and you can see me. Okay, good. Because the comments over there ain't working. They're playing with something. I don't know what to do with that. Nice if it worked, but it is what it is. So, if I were a slave on a planet, did I say planet? I mean plantation. If I was a slave on a plantation, you know what I would want? I would want a slave master who didn't know what he was doing. Or if I were in a prison, I would want a warden who had no idea how to work the gates. No idea, just couldn't find his keys half the time, breaking stuff up, didn't know when to let people out, let them back in. If I were in a nation, that was colonizing the whole damn world, everything, killing, murdering, colonizing, destroying, looting. Where's my picture at? Looting, slapping little kids, dropping bombs on babies. If I was in that country, if I were in a country that was doing this, taking everything from every poor person they can find, everybody without bullets and guns. If I lived in that country, I would not want a slick bastard at the top. I wouldn't. I want somebody clumsy. And some people say that he's not clumsy. Some people will say, you know, he's playing 3D chess. I'm okay with that. Let him play 3D chess. I don't believe that, but I'm okay with that. I mean, I think that he's doing his own little colonizing thing, trying to make his money too. That's what billionaires are supposed to do. You know, if you're raised and money is the most important thing to you and your family and everything around you, that's who you become. I'm a little annoyed with this 2020, trying to get a good, slick colonizer back in the office in 2020. I'm a little annoyed with this, trying to get a slick warden back in the office. Somebody that everybody, all the prison inmates cheer for. Someone who makes them think their incarceration is okay, that they should be in prison. A slave master who makes them think it's a good idea to be a slave. You know, gives them candy on Friday and make them happy. I think we need to work together, and I think we got planning to do. We got scheming to do. And the less we believe in the power, easier we can do that. The more the power is fumbling, bumbling, and easier we can do that. And I could be totally wrong, that we could be totally in line with the Democrats and the Republicans, and they're pretending that they're not in league to make me happy. They could be doing that. They're slick bastards. They could be doing that. But at least people actually can agree to fight the system more than to fight each other. I'd rather a bull in a china shop, breaking the dishes, knocking shelves down. Now, mind you, he might be trying to put something up. As long as he takes more down than he puts up, I'm good with that. I'm good. I don't care if Trump becomes a trillionaire in office. We can deal with one trillionaire. Can we deal with a dozen? I'm not saying I'm voting for Trump. I'm not allowed to, unfortunately. I'm not allowed to. I don't believe in the system. I know y'all do. I see everybody posting about who they want to run in 2020, and everybody I see is a slick colonizer. Somebody who's already sold people out. I'd rather somebody who messes up, and some of them coins that from Africa and Latin America, some of them coins, some of that gold falls back in those countries. So, somebody said something about 9/11. So you know what? I have to be honest with y'all. I did not look at the news today. I only saw one news report. Only one. I'm not interested. You know, I was looking at this more. I was looking at I'm gonna talk about 9/11 a little bit. We talk about 9/11 a little bit. I'm not getting into these crazy theories. Some of y'all can't go with me. Some of y'all there. I'm not. I'm still looking into what we are, why we're here, how do we become sentient again. That's important to me. What's important to me? Business fails. That's what's important to me. It's important to me that massive corporations, the massive monopolies that made my family and friends bumbling idiots through the Telecommunication Act and colonizing and making these big, massive corporations to send all of this money to the Jeff Bezos around the world while the waters are rising. It's important to me that those businesses fail. Highly important to me. We need a future, and we don't have one. These kids don't have a future at all. I want them to fail. And if he's if he's doing stuff that they don't like, I'm good. Um, let me see what Brother Gal say. Because Gal and I, we actually had we were going back and forth a little minute ago about it. Speaking of coins, when is Trumpet getting coin? You know it's coming. Oh, I know it's coming. I know it's coming, Gal. You know it's coming. I know it's coming. You know it's coming. He's gonna put his face on the dollar, and I'm okay with that too. He can put his face on the dollar, the coin. He can put his face everywhere he wants, as long as we bring an end to this system. As long as we build a better world, I'm fine. We can watch him, I think. I think we can watch him because he scares a lot of people. I'm worried about the ones that don't scare people. I'm worried about the Oprahs and the Bernies and the ones they want to put in that doesn't scare the plantation, doesn't scare the slaves, the inmates. Like, that's who's scary to me. But you know what? So what I was looking at? Carrie said she's cheering and laughing all day. Carrie, I'm with you. I'm laughing. I'm enjoying I'm enjoying the administration. I hate to say it. I'm in between being a little pissed off, Carrie. I get a little pissed off sometimes. They say some dumb stuff. Get me a little riled up. But for the most part, I'm laughing. I'm laughing at what's going on. Like, he scares a lot of the right people, and that's important. And I think the Bushes came out against them now. The Bushes said that George Bush doesn't like Trump. He, for some reason, I didn't watch the whole article. He doesn't want him to win again. Honestly, but to be honest, if he is this savior, if he's an accidental savior and he's like knocking stuff down in the China shop, they're gonna kill him. So don't get too happy. He's not gonna run in 2020. Somebody gonna show up this door and say, all right, you done had your fun in our China shop for a minute. We gotta rob the world. We gotta loot everybody. We got more indigenous people to kill. You're gonna have to get the hell out of here. So I'm not confused by it. But anyway, I really didn't want to talk about that too much. I was just having fun. I saw this morning. He's like a bull in a China shop. He is knocking down your slavery, and I know y'all don't like it. I know. He's not knocking down enough of the police state, though. I wish he'd knock more of the police state down. He's not knocking. He's breaking up the hurting Latin America. The CIA doesn't like him, and CIA been murdering people all over this world for the longest time. So I don't know what's going on. I'm a dumb serf, y'all. I don't get to know. Most of y'all don't get to know either. But all we can do is speculate. Tell us what's true. We can sit back here and speculate. And all I know is the media doesn't like the guy. Doesn't mean he's a good guy. If y'all don't want him, y'all need to pick another reality TV host. Like the left, if y'all don't want to do Trump, can you find who's the Geraldo Rivera? Maybe let's get him in there. Let's get maybe one of the Kardashians. If we can get one of them in there, I think we could do good with that. Can we get somebody just anybody who doesn't know works? Anybody who has trouble making the machine go, the colonizing machine. Anybody who has trouble, because this is what I think. I will tell you what scares me. What I don't like. I don't like the nationalism. That bothers me a little bit. It bothers me on the nationalism, right? Because I look at nationalism like I posted a minute ago, like family, right? Like, what do you do? Because there are a bunch of folks pissed off. I keep saying I'm not an American, that I live in America. I love America. I love North America. I love South America too. And I love my Americans, the people who, because when I look down and I see the ground, it's America on the ground. It says America. Y'all, you look down, y'all, in the dirt somewhere, it says America. But as for me, there's no labels on me. There's no labels on me that say American. And I got a problem. So nationalism, I view it like familyism. What do we do when dad is drunk? What do we do when dad is beating up mom? What do we do when dad is slapping around your little brother? What do we do when dad goes to the neighbors and stealing from them, fighting with them, flirting with his wife? What do you do when your federal government is acting like an abusive husband? What do you do? You're the oldest son. You're the oldest daughter who takes taekwondo. I think it's called taekwondo. Tai chi, something like that. Do you cheer dad when dad stumbles in the house drinking. Say, can I see from I'm the king of this kingdom. You start cheering, yay, daddy, 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 beat mama more, beat mama, daddy, beat mama, slap around our little brother, daddy, yeah, daddy, we love you. I know, and I'm kind of pushing this, the bending a knee part, taking a knee to the anthem. I'm bending that because I think familyism is like nationalism. You got to know when to hold them. And you got to know when to fold them. Right? Now is not a time for cheering dad. Now is a time we have to clock dad. We might have to clock him. The federal government, we might have to clock him a little bit. Hopefully Brother John ain't here with the cannons and muskets and stuff. We had to clock him. I'm not talking revolution. I'm just talking about what do you do when your father is gone? And how do you love your father? Maybe you love him. Maybe you still love him. You want to fix him. People want to fix a Bernie. They want to fix a Obama. They want to fix a Clinton. Maybe they want to fix a Trump. I don't know. I think as a family, that's when you pull together. That's what I think. I'm not sure if this is a good analogy. It makes sense to me. Tell me if it doesn't make any sense to you. But that's a time when you do take a knee on the anthem. That is a time when you start questioning the rule of your family, and this family is a nationalism. That's when you don't have to look at the flag dirty. You don't have to burn the flag and jump up and down on it, because the flag is just a representation. It's just your last name of your family. What time do you protect your neighbors? What point in time do you protect Puerto Rico? What point in time do you protect the Yemen? What point in time do you decide to protect the other nations we've been colonizing? What time do you decide when dad is kind of tripping and falling? Maybe you throw a bag over his head. Send him to AA. Send your federal government to Colonizers Anonymous, CA. Maybe make him read the Constitution a little bit, and the Bill of Rights a little bit. Free the rest of the world. Pay attention to the yellow vest protests. Gotta come together as a family when your father is drunk, beating the hell out of everybody, building a police state, starting wars all over the planet, poisoning everybody, chemtrails, geoengineering, 5G. At what point in time do you stop wanting to cheer dad? Put a Bernie in. Put an Oprah in. At what point in time you stop wanting to put the Ted Cruz in? Giuliani, did y'all see that, Giuliani? Giuliani stood up. All right, I gotta change my background. I know people gonna come in and you start, he's cheering Trump. No, he's not cheering Trump. He's just, we need a bull in the china shop. Get our act together. Sometimes we need dad a little drunk, tripping around, falling on the shelves, breaking the china, so we can figure out what we want to do. The water is always rising. Where's my other picture? That's what I want. I want my rise picture. Where's my rise picture? The water is always rising. Water's always been rising. To me, climate change is an important discussion. Not that I want to pick and choose which industries caused it, like the Democrats and Republicans, and pick and choose who they're going to blame if they blame anybody, if they believe it. The water's always rising. And if we don't do anything about it, the rats on the ship, your children, your grandchildren, grandchildren, they're going to be highly evolved and very beings that are psychopathic and thrive at conflict. Like, that's what's wrong with our nation. I keep telling people, fix the environment and you fix people. Fix the environments that children are raised in, and you fix the people. Stop blaming people. I want to look at 9/11, but what are y'all talking about? Bernie and Oprah married. What? No, let's not do that. Let's not do that. I'd be good with Oprah if Oprah didn't have $1 billion. I don't know. Maybe Oprah's, I think Oprah might be connected. I know Bernie's connected. I want somebody that's completely disconnected from Washington, completely. I need just the most ridiculous Dr. Phil type of president. I need somebody that didn't have any connections. So if y'all really don't want Trump, please don't put anybody in that's connected. Don't put anybody in that's built into this world colonizing model that business likes. I want somebody business hates, or at least most of them. Are you 100% sure about climate change? Sister Ellen Crockett, I'm not 100% sure about anything. I'm not. I'm a dumb monkey, Sister Ellen. I'm a 98% monkey that's wave energy, that the aliens changed the second chromosome, and I don't even know what I am, Sister Ellen. I have no idea. So I have no idea about climate change. What I do know is the water's rising. I know that. I know that the ecosystems are collapsing, you know, and it happens all the time. I get that. I get that species go extinct. But my stance on it is that bad times are coming. And if we don't focus on those bad times for these kids, they're going to kill each other. Because that's what survivalists do. That's what they're required to do. Food and the water's rising and land is shrinking, population's growing, animals can't grow crops because they're spraying all that crap in the air, then they're going to kill each other. And I don't think that Woody Harrelson 2020. I'm good with Woody Harrelson. I like Woody Harrelson, y'all. You know what? Some people say that he's controlled opposition. He's fake. I like Woody Harrelson. He seems like he says really good things, you know, but, you know, I just want somebody that just isn't connected. I don't want a politician, nobody with no legal background. I want no lawyers. I don't want nobody, no political sci-fi majors. I don't want any of that. You know, I don't want anyone having to do with colonization and big business and destruction. We need small, like I was just saying, like another solution I was thinking. You got to find a job, like learn to do a skill. Learn to do a skill. Make sure it's a helpful skill. Make sure it's a skill that helps humanity, helps people in your community or people worldwide. Something that's positive, useful. And you either give the skill away, you do it for free, or you do it for a company or start your own business and you live modestly on moderate profits. And you either work for that company that's very ecosystem sentient focused, not trying to be a big multi-conglomerate billion-dollar company. Because living within our means is part of how we get out of here, I think. I'm a splitting molecular. Well, hang on. Before you say that, Brother Dan, don't go to college. Don't take up a job that makes a lot of money. And do not go work for big, massive corporations that are destroying this planet. That's the wrong way to raise your children. Complete wrong way. Do something for. Oh, Brother John is in the house. Get your powder dry. Powder's not dry. All right, let me see. I'm a spirit molecule, a brother for love and sustainability. Woody, bad A, planting seeds. Yeah, well, that's what we're supposed to be, Brother Dan. That's how we're strong. And I do want to look at 9/11. Joe the Plumber 2020. Yes, David. Yes. See, you and I, we on the same page. Yes, Joe the Plumber. I want plumber's butt in the White House. Plumber's butt. That's what we need. We need plumber's butt running France. We need plumber's butt running Germany. We need plumber's butt running Russia. If we got plumbers, we good to go. We got people who just don't know how to run things. They can fix some pipes. They have no idea how to take lobbyist paychecks. They have no idea how to lie to people. You know, because a plumber, he half the time can't even lie to you. He went in the house. Oh, I fixed it. I fixed this. Now I'm gonna leak again. Like, you smell alcohol on your breath? You sure you fixed it? Yeah, I didn't fixed it. There ain't no water dropping. Plumber's butt. We need plumber's butt 2020. We don't need any more slick bastards in the White House. No, hell no, Brother Walt. Don't put me. I ain't going nowhere near that White House. Hell no. I ain't going near none of that public service. You know why? Well, because then I can't. They gonna take my fish. I got some shrimp, Brother Walt. They gonna take my dog and they probably gonna like hang it over a fire and they gonna make me. Because you put me in the office, I probably say everything Obama said. They make me look slick. I'm trying to tell you. Don't trust them. Don't. They'll make me, Trump, because when Trump says crazy stuff, people believe like, yeah, he's authentic. I can't get up there and say crazy stuff. Some people know that I've worked in corporate America and I'm a little kind of intelligent. They get me up there, I'll sound just like Obama. I'd be like, what we gotta do is we gotta save the people of Syria by going to murder a whole bunch of people in Syria. And people start clapping like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes a whole lot of sense. They try to make me make sense. No, I don't think, but to me, to be honest with you, I don't think we need government. I don't think we do. I think that we have evolved past the concept. I want people in government who don't want to be in government. That's what I want. I want people who are okay with a lot of it collapsing. I want people who want to start deleting laws. I want people who want to start getting rid of control and start walking us to an evolved spot where we don't need the government. I want to start walking in that direction. I don't want to keep walking and writing laws and getting rid of, how do you keep writing more laws and respect the Constitution and the Bill of Rights? How do you claim to love sovereignty and human beings and human civilization and writing more laws, controlling and dominating them? People, and they'll say things like the rule of law. The other thing I was thinking about, they talk about the rule of law. Well, we got to have law and order. And I'm like, well, that's not law and order. We don't have no law and order. Maybe at some point in time when it was the Wild Wild West and we were all survivalists and we had to murder each other and Native Americans were trying to kill us because we were in land not supposed to be here and part of my genes come from them. So y'all's in my land and I was in their land. We all a bag of big nuts because I got the British DNA and the Irish DNA and the African Cherokee DNA and all of that's fighting in my head. And I just look at it, I try to look at it from all perspectives. But back then, maybe we did need a lot of law and order. But is it today? The way my mind works, I don't see that today. You know what I see today? I see force. I see rule of force. I see stronger than you, I'm bigger than you, got a police force, an FBI, a DHS, 1913, 1933, I bought your nation, and you will do everything I tell you to do. I see a plantation. I see a prison system with borders all around it. I see that a rule by force. I see gang violence. I see a federal government that's acting like a mafia more than a governing body. It's easy if you can send Vinny the Nose up to somebody and threaten to murder them. And they'll follow the laws. That's not law and order. That's coercion. That's threats of violence. That's domestic violence. That's abuse. That's coming home saying, I'm going to beat the hell out of my wife if she doesn't make chicken. That's not law and order. I think law and order began, but then you have to start to erode it and start fixing people when you're in a more modern time where you can take care of everybody. That's the kind of government I want. Till then, we're facilitatement, not government, facilitatement. I just think human beings need facilitation. Adults need to represent themselves. They don't need representative. That's who I would like. Find somebody who doesn't want to represent me. Damn it, you might actually get me somewhere near pole. Until then, you ain't get me nowhere near that damn thing. I ain't touching that. I am not going to pull a lever so I can be a child. I'm not going to go pull a lever so somebody can represent me. I don't need you representing me. I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't know. All right, I do want to talk about 9/11. I got time today, y'all. We can talk. We can talk for a minute today. I feel bad. I'm sorry yesterday, y'all. I dropped it. I was going to pretend technical difficulty. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'll be honest. It wasn't a technical difficulty. This is what happened. What happened is, so if you ever watch The Pack, you ever watch a wolf pack, you ever watch National Geographic, you ever watch a dog pack, when the big dog come around, what do little dogs do? They roll on their back and show the neck. I had to show my neck yesterday. And I didn't want y'all hearing that. I didn't want y'all hearing me just, when the big dog, when massa come around, hey, you better grab your back cotton, act like you're picking. Shoot, massa came around, And then it's a massa from a contractual thing. It wasn't like massa like a boss, but it was massa enough of a massa. I had to roll over and show my neck, like the pit bull. You get roll over and show your neck, like this is my neck. You can rip it, eviscerate, and kill me anytime you want. I respect your pie. I had to do that, so I ain't gonna lie to you. I was gonna lie. I was gonna say, oh, it was technical difficulties. I don't know. The deep state was trying to shut me down, like Brother John. You can't even watch Brother John's broadcast. John, I try to watch your broadcast, man. I can't even watch it. I try to get. They don't like you at all, brother. I'm telling you, you need to stop showing cannons and muskets in your videos. They're not gonna let you show them. Anyway, I had to roll over. So I got time today. I'm gonna give y'all some time. We'll hang out as long as y'all want to hang out. So you can share the video. I'm sounding like Brother Chris. Share the video, share the video, share the video, share the video. Y'all can share the video. I ain't gonna say nothing to get you in trouble. Because I don't pick a team. I don't pick a team. Your friends and family can say so. All right, I'm gonna show you 9/11. So apparently, who is this guy? I missed this. There was a guy talking about Dark Warrior. What's his name? The Dark Warrior. He's going to release some 9/11 files. Did y'all see this? Let's take a look at this for a minute. For Facebook. Must be us watching. Where am I at? I'm still here. Hello. Hey. I hear. Brother Dan, I ain't going nowhere. I'm right here. Right here. Right. Uh-oh. No, y'all can't see me. Y'all can see me. Y'all can't see me. I think that's a band. No, I'm gonna say, oh, that's a deep state trying to get me. It's not my bandwidth. No, it's probably my bandwidth. I don't know. Huh? Can y'all see me? Now I'm frozen up. Stop it. All right. Facebook, stop it. Y'all back? Deep state trying to get me, man. They're coming for me. There's all over. I block helicopters and all kind of stuff out front. Are we going there? Okay. Yeah, woo. Oh man, I made it. Y'all would not believe what just happened. It was crazy, man. They was all trying to kill me. I say some truthful stuff that they was gonna kill. Nah, that's not what happened. I don't know what happened. But I got a different little studio place I'm from, so I'm not sure what happened. I can talk about 9/11. I guess I can't show the video. I'll post the link. That's why I always post the link afterwards. But so anyway. See if I can find. This is what we'll do. Because apparently that's not going to work. So it was a dark overlord. Brother Harvey. Yeah, you've heard of him. I didn't hear of him. Brother Harvey. Okay, here we go. So the dark overlord says he has documents he was going to release that was going to tell us the truth about 9/11. And he wants money. So the people who want him to release the documents can send him money. And the people who don't want him to release the 9/11 files can send the money. And this is what I think. My 2 cents. My 2 cents is this. I don't care about the documents. I don't actually care. I don't. I know I sound contradictory and I'm saying we need to know the truth and no secrets. This is one secret we actually don't need to know because we already know. We already know 9/11 was done by not 7 people with some box cutters. We already know that. We already know that the U.S. government was very well aware. We already know that the multiple let's be fair, because not everybody in the government, your postal worker didn't know nothing about no damn 9/11. I think most of the politicians probably didn't know anything about 9/11. But your alphabet agencies, your DHS, right? Because Bush made them. So your FBI's, your CIA's, your MI6's, and all of them, they all knew. I bet you the KGB knew, and I bet you, there's the China, what's their name of theirs? I bet you the Spence, everybody knew. It was rolled out by foreign interests. We know that there were probably multiple groups. We know that it had the same narrative as killing JFK. It's probably all the same men. I actually don't care what they send the documents. And so what the Dark Overlord did, he released, or he wants to release, the documents. He released some legal documents to show that he actually has I think he hacked 3 law firms' documents, that he has the documents from 3 law firms, which is good. Don't get me wrong. It's just, I don't really care. I don't. I already know my government's not lying about 9/11. And to me, that's grounds enough for no secrets. That's grounds enough. I don't need to know that my government's complicit. I mean, look at the USS Liberty. The government would never hurt me. The government murders our soldiers on a regular basis. They don't care. Half of the military will talk about it. You just can't talk about it to them on camera. You got to go talk about it behind the bar. Go ask them what they saw serving in Latin America. Go ask them what they saw serving in Africa. Go ask them what they saw. Go ask them why 22 troops are committing suicide every day. And you'll find out. So the Dark Overlord is going to release the documents because I don't think they're paying, or they might pay, but I don't really care. I already know my government is a drunk father. I already know that he's beating my mother up. I already know he's beating up my brothers, and I know he's beating up the neighbor. And if my government is a drunk father, I'm not singing his anthem. I'll take a knee. I'm not putting my heart over my chest. I'm not singing a pledge. Because at that point, familyism, nationalism, patriotism, humanism is about restraining that father. That father that's drank a little too much of that lobbyist juice, drank a little too much of that Wall Street juice, drank a little too much of that Federal Reserve juice and whoever owns them. The other thing I like about that news report that I can't seem to show, I'll post a link for. The Dark Overlord hacked it. Everything's hackable. Everything. You have no secrets. I just want you to know that. Everything. Your little nasty pictures on your phone, your little nasty pictures on your laptop, all the things you do, everything is hackable. Everything. That's the one thing I learned about being an IT manager for a long time. Everything is hackable. There's nothing that's secure. Mostly because your alphabet agencies, your elemental PCIA, NSA, they made sure that holes were carved in the back of everything. They made sure that everything had an encryption key they could actually get into. That's why the whole world is unsecure. The reason why you don't have privacy is because they made sure you don't have any privacy so they could see what everybody's up to. Once again, anybody who came in new, what's the back? You like the background? I got the background because I'm fine with things the way they are. I don't need to see your 2020 nice guy. I'm fine with the way they are. I want a bull in that. Unless you can find me a bull that's gonna knock over. I'm really not that interested. I don't want your, like one of my friends said, what did he say? He said, we need to get a PhD in there to clean up what Trump has done. I'm like, no, we don't. No, we don't. Nope. I want a homeless guy. I want a homeless wino. I want a homeless veteran. That's what I want. I want somebody who's going to break up more than he's breaking up. That's what I want. You might actually get me near a pole, but short of that, I'm not interested in your PhD colonizers. Because America's better than everybody else. Americans' children matter more than anybody else's children. Like, I was pissed off yesterday. I had to post something. I was angry. I was yelling yesterday. I was upset. They were talking about how children survive these bombings, these drone strikes that Obama did 18 a day, and now the Trump administration is 22 a day. The thing that nobody can seem to stop, no matter who you put in office, they're murdering more people. I was a little pissed off. They say that kids, they survive these strikes more. Simply from physics, they're smaller. They have smaller bodies. They don't have as many appendages that concrete crushes when it falls on them. So they and of course, they are the worst hurt victims in these endless wars and drone strikes because they survived the bombing, which means they're buried under rubble for days, if not weeks, if not forever, dying of starvation, dying because parts of their body are crushed. The adults, at least they die in the drone strikes. They bleed out. That's mercy. Babies, the smaller these kids are, they don't make it. They don't make it. But they die slow. It's not the activity of a sentient government, people. That China shop is a China shop that can't stay. That drunken father is a father who can't be cheered. That drunken father needs to go to Colonizers Anonymous. Needs to go to somewhere and get some psychological help and figure out what the hell is wrong with you. Your entire federal government's broken, from the Supreme Court to the executive branch. They're broken. They need to go. They need to be destroyed. They need to be wrapped up, thrown up in a ball, and gotten rid of, or completely whitewashed to some sort of level of sentience. Yes, Carrie, they are dysfunctional and don't even admit to it. And they don't admit why. And why don't they admit to it, Carrie? Why don't they admit to how evil it is to drop bombs on buildings? Money. They like money. They like money, and they got a lot of support. Why would they have to? If they've got people posting their pictures, they got people saying, will you please run in 2020 and help us get rid of Trump? Why in the world would they ever admit how psychopathic they are if they got people backing them up, cheering them on? Like, don't you, when you have people, when you do something wrong, but people patting you on your back, it's okay. It's just how the world works, and it's okay. You just got to keep doing on, keep pushing on, encouraging you. Don't you keep doing it? I think most of us do. That's why I don't blame the government. Don't blame the government at all. They're doing what people are cheering for. People are scared and fighting each other, and so they do what people cheer. Dysfunctional. Completely dysfunctional. Can I show the video of that? I can't show the video, Anna. I don't know what's happening. I tried to show a video a minute ago and everything started shutting down. I don't know if it's because it's the 9/11 video or not. You know, speaking of 9/11 video, and then you had the who was that general who came out? I don't know if he was hiding or not. He was just like, oh, it was a missile hit the Pentagon. It's just, I don't need to know. I don't need to know any of the details. Yeah, everyone needs to know the truth, Brother Gown. Absolutely. Everybody needs to know the truth. Because how can we make decisions if we don't know the truth? Like, why would I go to a political party that wants to hold information from me? Like, as an adult, how do you make any decisions? How do you do any research if the people who you're cheering for are holding back data from you? That if someone withholds data from you and they force you to decide, it means that they're actually deciding for you. And I don't need anyone to. Ignores all the dilemmas on every level. Yeah, they do, Carrie. I think because people are scared. I think people are scared. I think people are scared. And we've got this mainstream media that keeps them scared. It keeps them running back and forth, and they're scared of Trump. And I don't think there's any problem in the world that's related to Trump. I don't. Not anything significant. I don't think there's anything that's going to get fixed from his impeachment. And so they want to get everybody focused on impeaching him and doing something that's not going to fix anything. And meanwhile, the waters are rising. The waters are rising. We're destroying the ocean, dropping chemicals out of airplanes. Police state is getting bigger. Prisons are getting more filled. People are dying all over this planet while they got everybody focused on busy work that's not going to. You're scaring them today, Brother Gerard. I don't know if I'm scaring them, Kevin. I don't think they scare easy. I think these murdery bastards. I think they laugh at me. I think they laugh at any attempt that we come up with to fight the system. I don't think the machine is scared of our rage, and I don't think the power is scared of us fighting them. Because most people we know have joined the power. Most people I know, they rage for the machine. They don't even know it, and it's pretty sad. Or maybe they do and they're scared. I don't know. Won't let me share the groups on Facebook. Oh, I'm not sure what's going on. Who was that? Guyan? I don't know. I said 9/11. They'll stop you. They got buttons they can push to stop it. You know. So I can't show the news anymore. I'm not gonna mess around with that. I'll see what y'all want me to talk about. Because I left y'all yesterday. I had to show my neck. See, Gerard, you don't need to know the details. We ignore history. Hang on. We are doomed to repeat it. Yeah, we don't need to know the detail. Thank you, Deborah. That's why I love history, and I always try to go back to history. If you just look at how things always used to work, odds are they still work that way today. You know, you go back and you look at slavery in America. You had a whole bunch of people happy with with it. They bought the clothes from the cotton trade and they wanted to run along with it. Odds didn't change. So today you got everybody with their small electronics and the cell phones and all of this. You got poor kids who are actually shoved into mines to mine the minerals for this crap. Slavery of the day. And people today just as complicit and happy with it. Future generations, if we get to live, they're not going to like you so much. They're not going to like your posts. And you know you can't delete your posts, right? You know all your posts, grandkids, they're going to hate you. Their grandkids going, oh, my daddy and sold out. He sold out. My grandmommy, oh, they was just some sellouts. I don't know what's wrong, but they was dumb or something. But we got our brains checking. We didn't have that mental illness that granddaddy had. We didn't have it. You know, they're going to take your clothes and your Bernie signs and your Clinton 2020 signs, probably your Trump 2020, and all that. They say, oh, we gonna hide. They're gonna hide that like they hid the German uniforms. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna hide it. They're not gonna have nothing to do with you selling out, or you had some sort of mental illness that couldn't. That you're involved with the same things that happened all throughout history you weren't paying attention to. That's why in the great you don't have to pick sides. Let me see. Not supposed to talk about 9/11, yeah, brother Steve, because I think the people who orchestrated 9/11 are the same people who killed JFK. They're the same people behind the whole petrol scam, the whole what's the name of that documentary? I keep referring to it. If you haven't watched it, you got to watch it. It's called Rich Man's Trick. It's 3 hours, but it's well worth it. It'll explain it all to you. It reminds me of what happened in Russia. I can't pronounce it, but the collapse of that building, Mogahin collapsed, and all 39 people died. You know, we're like, oh, that's tragic. That's just horrible. Everybody pray for the people. And I'm not going to say don't pray for the people. Well, actually, the people, they're actually okay now. They're wave energy. They're doing what they're supposed to do. They went back to whatever we are. Pray for the people who lost them. But also make a change in your life. Why did the building collapse? Gas leak, gas explosion. Why did the gas explode? Probably because we don't use automation equipment, sensors, and monitoring things to make sure people don't die in gas explosions under buildings. And why did that happen? Because we're still using gas. Why are we still using gas? Because somebody's making a whole lot of money on fossil fuels, and coming up on almost a century now. We could left fossil fuels almost a century ago. Nikola Tesla made the electric engine. We decided not to. We had solar panels. We got wind vane. We got geothermal heating. We got all these things we could be using. But a lot of people die so they can keep us on petroleum, keep us on fossil fuels. So to me, those 39 people, they just became casualties of the same petrodollar wars that have been going on. The same scam to keep everybody on petrodollar, on the petrodollar. It's all related. It's all related, all of it. So I say, you know, go ahead and pray for the families, but change your life to make things harder on the people who love the petrodollar. The big corporations that need that China shop that you got a bull in there knocking crap down on right now. That's what I think. From JFK to 9/11, it's all a rich man's trick. Yes, Christine Laws, I think you might be the one who sent me that video. I appreciate that. That documentary was on point. If you haven't watched it, somebody post a link. I don't see Wanda links here. Somebody post a link. You people need to watch that, definitely. I believe nothing on TV, and you shouldn't. You shouldn't. I question everything I see. I question everything I hear. I question what I was thinking yesterday. I question what I said 5 minutes ago. I'm constantly questioning because we're all locked up in the lies, and we're so deep in the lies we don't know what's true and what's fake. I think the only way we survive is this hive mind where we all get together and we have these discussions. That's why I think Facebook is important. I think YouTube is important, where everybody can pull together. You know, you can't remember everything, and what you know might have been fake, based in lie, but someone else saw a piece of something that makes it true and they can inject it in your head. Help you out. We got to think like a hive mind. Everyone needs to read Alison Weir's book, Against Better Judgment. It's the history of Zionism in the United States. Sounds good, Deborah. Everybody should read the book, and then you should do a summary. Do some notes. Like I have a book list on my page where you go. A lot of times people give book recommendations. I'll put them out there. But not everybody has a chance to read the book. You can go on YouTube. Half the time they're audiobooks now. You can listen to them in audio format. But also when you read the book, you should do like a breakdown and notes. Some of my friends do this. Like they'll do a breakdown and put together. Like, you know how you go through the book and you highlight? That's another good thing to do. You learn this in school. Y'all remember grade school? I told you it's probably true. Is go ahead and like make notes, highlight, and then share it online. A lot of people do it. Take a picture of the page while you're reading the book. You see something that has a mind experience, highlight it, take a picture of it, upload it to your page so people can see it. Like, we have to share a little more. Not everybody can go read all the books. So I think it's important to read the books and share your notes with us. Or send me a message. You can come on this little broadcast thing and give everybody your summary. You read the book. Here are the interesting points to you, and let everybody churn it and process it in their intellects, and we can actually figure out how that applies to our modern sick world. We all need to do something. We all need something to believe in. I believe I will smoke another bowl. Tony, early in the morning for you smoking bowls and stuff. What's that? Cannabis? I still haven't smoked none of that, but I'm okay with everybody who smokes it. I put in some tea and drank. It was delicious, and I know it's nutritious. We used to eat it for the longest time. They burned a lot of Alexandria to hide the information from the masses. Those in power have always hidden information. People under control. Yes, Susan, and they always do. They always did. They always will. Today, they're not going to stop. We need no secrets in government. We need no secrets with any powerful people at all. You know what bothers me? I was thinking about someone sent me this, Suzanne, somebody sent me this thing and it said, men manufacture enough sperm to impregnate every fertile woman on this planet every 2 weeks. It's like mind blowing, like what the hell? How does that make sense evolutionary wise? I like to think of things from an evolutionary perspective. Like, why do we have the ability to make billions of these little monsters, little nasty bastards? They're aliens. Why? Because the men always go off and fight. So we got into a good discussion about that, right? We got into a good discussion and people went back and forth and they jumped on their teams and, oh, because men are angry bastards. I think I sometimes I'll post stuff just to try to see what people say. I post things because I want people to talk. I think when people talk, we can learn from each other. I think I said something like, what I say? Men manufacture enough sperm to impregnate every woman on the planet every 2 weeks. And I think I did a hashtag. Now do you understand, men? Enough said. Because I knew it would trigger I knew it triggered some people. It ain't everybody. Mostly everybody. Y'all started to get me now. They all started just laughing and making jokes. But then some people got real serious. And they're like, oh, because you men are monsters and you're bastards and you're this, that, and the other. And I was kind of like, well, hang on. Let's have a discussion. Let's kind of talk about it. And this is the epiphany I got out of that discussion. It was interesting. I was thinking about it because men don't matter to the procreation process nowhere near as much as men at all. I forgot who the sister who posted it. She made a point. She said, you know, if you put 99 healthy young people, I'm gonna mess it up. You gotta read. I'm gonna mess it up. She said, if you put 99 healthy young people on an island, or 99 men and one healthy young woman, you come back a year later, you'll have one infant, 99 healthy young men, and one healthy young woman. But if you put 99 healthy young women on an island and one young healthy man, and you come back a year later, you'll have 99 young infants, little infants. Processing that. There's a lot in that, right? There's a lot in that. There's a lot of interesting points. One, if you put mentally stable people on an island, that's the first thing I took from it. It's like, yeah, they're not going to murder each other. You come back in 100 years, everybody will be alive. Because when people are on an island, because that was one of her points. She said that, but they have lots of water. They got all the things, shelter, blah, 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 blah. When you have healthy human beings, mentally and physically, and they got everything that they need, they become bonobos, not chimps. If you haven't looked up but the difference between bonobos and chimps and they got the same DNA, you need to look it up. I can't go through that. So that was the first thing. Everybody will be alive in a year. Nobody will murder each other. There'll be no violence. There'll be no killing. There'll be no fighting over the women. There'll be no ridiculous psychopathic anything, because violence, we choose to keep violence right now. We can get rid of it any day we want. When you have well-adjusted people, they're not violent people. We learn to be wild. That was the first thing. And the second thing I got from it is men aren't as important to the procreation process as women. And they shouldn't be. Men have bigger brawn, right? And we've been here. Who went off to do the hunting, right? The person with the most brawn. Why? Because they had to take down woolly mammoths that were 14 feet tall, right? They had to fight short-faced bears. Who went to go fight in the wars? And women fought in wars too, don't get me wrong. But who mostly went to go fight in them for most civilizations that we've had were the men. So it makes sense that men aren't as important to that process. Only one man might come back from the war. Your tribe has got to make it. Guess what? That's a happy man. That's a happy man. Well, no, he's happy at first. He's happy down the road. He'll come back. He'll have about 22, 60 kids. I don't know. Ooh, is this where polygamy came from? I don't know. Think about that. I like to think about these things. But anyway, that's a happy man. He ain't going to be happy for long, though. He'll be happy. You had 99 wives and 99 kids. You'd kill yourself. He'd be the only one. Everybody else would make it on the island. They come back a year later. You come back 1 year later, you have 99 infants. But you come back 2 years later, you had 99 women and 99 kids. Some of them growing up. And then, but they wouldn't. That man, he'd kill himself. You cannot have 99 wives and you can't have 99 children. You'll die. I'm trying to tell you, you'll just die. They'll drive you nuts. But anyway. But it was interesting. It was interesting to kind of think about that, you know, because people get in these gender fights and they go back and forth and they argue, fuss and complain. And there's no need for that. There's no need for that. No isms. Somebody said a minute ago, we don't need any of the isms anymore, right? Just love each other, take care of each other, be kind to each other, try to understand each other, right? You know, like, you know, and I think one of the, but see, the thing is, and so I'll make these posts to try to get people to talk, but every now and then we'll hit somebody that's kind of really went through something rough, right? And you don't have to talk to many women before you really realize that we are really still violent creatures as men, and women too. But, you know, rape is a household word, and it shouldn't be. It doesn't have to be. It is, but it doesn't have to be. Right? Why are people so fearful of being raped all over the world? Because you keep posting Bernie 2020. You keep posting Trump 2020. You keep posting Obama. You keep posting Oprah 2020. And all of these colonizers are funneling weapons all over your country and all over other world. All over the world. And what do violent people do who have weapons and the next town doesn't? They go rape the next town. That's why I can't get on the boat. We're still voting for violence. We know we can solve it. Your leaders, your politicians at any point in time can go talk to a neuroscientist or behavioral scientist at any time they want and stop writing laws that make violent people. They don't. And so there's only two possible solutions there. One, your politicians actually don't give a damn about violence, rape, destruction, people being mugged, MS-13, or any of the crap that they talk about, or they're legislating to make violent people, because violent people do things that cause dramatic disasters to occur in lives and in towns that are divisive and can divide the people up on the create problems. They literally write laws that make problems. And it's not so much the politicians who know that, it's the corporations. They actually write laws to make problems to not solve the problem. And that's where their careers come from. And you would only know that if you read the laws. I used to read the laws, and that's why I stopped being a believer in political parties, because I didn't watch the news for the talking points. I read the laws because I wanted to know what was in them. And it scares the hell out. It scared the hell out of me. All I saw were laws that were written from problems. So you want to know why rape exists? It's not because you got this silly bald guy making posts on the internet. Rape exists because the politicians that you believe in make money. That's why. Little girls coming up right now, they make money, they make careers on problems, not on solutions. And we need a new governing model that makes money, that gives them careers on solving problems, bring less violence. I don't know what, somewhere in Europe, I don't know who in Europe has that healthcare system. Is it France? Where the doctors, they get paid based on performance. They get paid based on the amount of people they heal, not just for having the job. When we have a system, this is why I like the Zeitgeist movement, I like the resource-based economy setups, because when you actually reward politicians for solving problems, for making less violent people, for feeding more people, using automation and robots to bring about less violence, man, I'd love to be your kids. I'd love to be your kids. If you actually were building a better world for me, so I don't have to have your problems. I can live in a world where rape doesn't exist, violence doesn't exist. You can go do these, the drunk thing they do? In New York City, y'all walk around bar hopping. I had my brother-in-law, he took me out there once. He took me out bar hopping. Went from bar to bar. Is it crazy? I was drunk. I don't think I've ever been that drunk in my life. You go out from bar to bar to bar to bar. You drink a beer in every bar you went to. By the end of the night, I couldn't even see. I think that's why they keep the lights on in New York City. So when you're drunk at nighttime, it looks like the aliens are invading. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I don't know how I got home. Oh, shoot, I almost peed on the train. But imagine if the youngest little girls could do that, who are of drinking age, which there shouldn't be a drinking damn age, should be 18 or lower. If you can drive 16, if you can drive a damn car that weighs a ton that can murder people, you can drink alcohol. Should be like France. But they should be able to go do it and walk on the street, no fear. Imagine if we were the last generation of people who had to be fearful of walking on the street at night. We can do that. It's not utopia. It's not panacea. It's not any of that. It actually is just building a society that gets rid of violence by listening to professionals. The neuroscience, the behavioral science that we send to school for 7 years. I did in school for 7 years, doing research, studying people, learning why we do what we do. And they come back and they say, you're violent, you're wild, but you're being made wild. Environment is making you this way. That there's a small percentage of the population that is genetic, and we don't know what to do about that yet. But the vast majority of you guys are wild and you do violent things because of your environment, because of artificial scarcity. You live in an artificially scarce society that creates violent people in trailer parks, ghettos, barrios, that doesn't have to. Isn't that why we send them there? Like the Department of Education, I hate. Don't we send teachers to school so they can learn how to teach? And then they're professionals and they should just be able to go in their classroom and teach. Isn't that why we send principals? Isn't that why we train the police so that they can be professionals and they can make their own decisions? Isn't that why we even train judges? I'm not sure I believe in all of these things, but you do. And don't we make them professionals so they can make their own decisions, not so they can be centrally managed from a federal government, one central point of failure that tells everybody what to do and how to make those decisions and what they tell them their curriculum. They tell the AMA, tell doctors what drugs they can prescribe, what is that called? The standard care and practice model. The doctor can't actually tell you to go use a little herbs or cannabis or spearmint or they gotta give them. They got the first 3 things they can give them, which is a chemical. Like it's all related. It's all related. We evolve. We're getting smarter. We're not doing smarter. Getting smarter, but we're not implementing. We're not implementing it anywhere in our governing models. We take it, we put it in the book, and we put it on the shelf. All right. G tried to play the 9/11 video. I did, Anna, and they didn't like it. I have to post it. I can't play it. But I mean, that's all they really talked about. What they were just talking about was that he wants to release the documents and he wants money to do it, which I'm okay with. I don't know the Dark Overlord, and but I love him. I don't know. I love him. I love him. He's a human being, and whoever he is, he became that way. I think you should release the files for free. But he's a human being. His environment made him exactly who he is. He grew up in a psychopathic government somewhere, and it made him a hacker, right? So he hacked some things to give away some things or to make money from doing it. Um, Let me see. The link is here. Okay, somebody posted a link. All right, thank you. So I don't think we actually have to watch it. I think you can watch it. The thing is that we don't know what's true. We don't know the truth. Like all of these things are great demonstrations. Knowing what's true, like flat Earth. I'm fine with flat Earth. Why? Because we need to know what's true. I don't fight with flat Earthers at all. We've been lied to. And there is that. I think it's a very small chance. Small chance that they're right. Very small chance, but I've never been to space. I don't know. I was happy to see China landed a probe 2 days ago on the dark side of the moon. I'm glad. China's releasing the pictures now. They're kind of playing these American games too. They're only showing you one pixel. Their camera only shows 1 pixel is like 1.3 square meters or 1.3 meters, something like that. I think they play games like that. That's 3 feet. 3 feet, you can barely make out anything. It blurs structures. It blurs things. Why? Because they don't want you to know what's up. We had cameras that could hide. Google's cameras do better than that. And so I know, this is how I know China plays the games too. I know Russia plays these games too, and they don't want you to see what's on the moon, or they just want to see what's there first. It could be minerals and oils and stuff. I tend to believe that people say there are structures that we've been there before. I tend to believe people who say that we're millions of years old and we've been there before, and we're just rediscovering and reinventing the things that we always knew. I believe the Bible where it said, there's nothing new under the sun. You're not inventing anything new. We've been here before. I believe it when it says that God destroyed the earth by flood and might have been an alien in the UFO and knocked a asteroid in the ocean and caused flooded everything. I believe all of that. We've had multiple civilizations before. The Bible said it, the Gita said it, the Quran said it, all the books say it. I believe all the ancient scriptures. And I think our government is just trying to get the technology, and they convince us that this is the real world. Trump is the one breaking more than he fixes. Yes, he is, Dee Dee. Yes, he is. That's why I'm okay with Trump being there. Hey, Dee Dee, good morning. I'm okay with Trump being there. If y'all replace Trump, I just want y'all to replace him with somebody who breaks even more. When you live in a China shop world that rape still exists, I think we're supposed to break it all up. When you live in a world where colonization still exists, I think we're supposed to break it all up. When you live in a world that's still on fossil fuels and we got much better, I think you got to break it all up. Now, mind you, I still think Trump is trying to put a shelf or two up with his name on it. Brother Gell said Trump is trying to put his face on the money. And I believe that too. He's trying to do his thing because that's what he was raised to do. I just think that it's got to get broken up. Too many people are dying. Too many people have died all over this world. Too many people are going to die today. Collapsing buildings, collapsing bridges, rising water, climate change, raining glyphosate, all of the sick things that we got going on in this world. My God, we got kids in America dying of heart disease. How in the hell do you have 10-year-old children with heart disease and diabetes? It's because we're being poisoned. That whole government federal structure needs to come down. All of it. All of it. And they can keep their jobs, rebuild it, but we need to make a structure that sends us in the right way. Yes, DD, hemp. I love hemp. I think hemp is important. I actually have a few meetings on hemp coming. I think hemp is important. Now that you can use hemp as plastic, you can replace it with every product on this planet. And when you're done with it, you can be a greedy little consumer-based American and toss it out like you don't give a damn. And the environment will break it down and reuse it. I think it's a great idea. I think that's it. Hemp can save everything. Everything. But why doesn't our government do that? Why do they wait this long to legalize hemp? Why did they wait this long to put it in the farm bill? Why? Because hemp replaces petroleum. The same reason buildings fall down in Russia and all over this planet from gas explosions, because they are paid to keep the petrodollar in place. They're paid by oil companies. We are an oil company military, and that's a bad, bad idea. Um, Stay healthy, everyone. Detox. Yes, Anna, you have to be healthy. You don't get to fix any problems if you're sick. You can't turn on your drug dealer if you need the pharmaceutical industry's drugs. You can't help anybody. You can barely get up in the morning. You got to eat healthy. You got to go back to using herbs. You got to listen to the like I was looking at the shaman stuff this morning. I was looking at the psychedelic drugs. You know, shaman, where's that from? That's the word shaman is from the Mongol? It literally means no where the asteroid blew up, and it means those who know. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. It means those who know. So how do we have these shaman things for thousands of years? And everybody said these people know, gave them a name that person knows, and we don't know because they knew. Oh, but we were crazy, dumb cavemen. No, we weren't. The same brain that was in their head for thousands of years is the same exact brain that's in yours right now. Do you get behind and support people you don't know? Actually, you probably do. But that's because you got the mainstream media lying to you, keeping you scared. But they didn't. If you didn't know what the hell you were talking about, they killed you. If your wife got the blue bumps and you sent them to the shaman and your wife died, you took out a sword, you took out a spear, and you stabbed the shaman. You made sure he died, that he does not know. He doesn't have to have the name that means those who know, because the shamans knew. And how did they know? But that goes into some real deep stuff about the pineal gland and DMT, and we are biological machines. I mean, to touch on that for a little bit, if I came to this planet and I made some human being things and I took 98% monkey, not the good parts of the monkey, muscle tendon strength and the brains and the smart and the sentience, but I took the rest of the monkey and I gave it some of my DNA and I made it, I would instill a way for me to control it. I'd put in a way for me to know what it's up to. Right? Why? Because I'm a software engineer and I make things, we create things, we need to know. We need people to know I made this. I'm going to tag it like a graffiti artist. I'm going to tag it like a potter. I'm going to make sure I can control it because I made a creation called AI and I want to make sure it doesn't turn around and kill me and murder me later. But not only that, I got to fly back to whatever universe I'm from. I want to know what it's up to because I want to be omnipotent. I want to know what it's doing and I want to maybe help it. I'll give it a pineal gland. I'll give it something so that I can interface with it. I might put some mushrooms on the planet. I might put some cannabis on the planet. I might put some plants that make DMT and then teach it. If you take this root system from this plant and this leaf and stir it up together in a pot and boil it, you make, what is that stuff called? Not peyote. What's the stuff called that, ayahuasca. How did the ancients know all of this? Because somebody told them. And you know somebody told him, because that's what was in the book of Enoch. He told you. They taught us science, math, agriculture, everything. All the ancient cultures said that the star came down and taught them how to do all these things. Why? So we'd stay in contact. So you would have somebody who actually was in contact with whatever's going on. They have these experiences with these psychedelics, and they actually get transmission. They learn how to do Nikola Tesla type stuff. That's what Nikola Tesla said. He went to sleep and he wake up and he knew how to solve problems. Who else said that? Edgar Cayce went to sleep, woke up, and knew how to. So is it possible they were human beings that just had the ability to tap into that plan and get some sort of a download of information to kind of keep things driving forward? Possibly. Is it possible the human being is just a machine and we have a means of communicating with the or things that, yeah, possibly. But to me, it makes sense. So I was kind of looking at that. And I thought that was hugely interesting. Hugely interesting. That we lean on corporations that we shouldn't. We lean on governments that we shouldn't, that we've always known better. Say, oh, well, the Egyptians were crazy. They didn't know anything about chemistry. Do you know what chem means? Do you even know where the word chem came from? What chemet is? Yeah, of course the Egyptians know about chemistry. Of course they know about science. They've been doing this a long time. That's why the CIA is in Egypt. That's why NASA's in Egypt. That's why NASA has that. Is it New Mexico that they took over? Do you think NASA, the National Air and Space, gives a damn about the ancients because aliens were? Do you really think that? Do you think there's nothing in those ancient texts but they're reading the ancient texts? My brain doesn't work that way. Now I got to listen to the Pretenders. Okay, the Great Pretenders. That's the song, Brenda. That's what you're talking about. Pineal gland hormones produce and necessary for a state of well-being in terms of mood and sleep. That's what they say, Dee. They say the pineal gland releases DMT. I don't know if they've proven that yet, but they say that, and the pineal gland is on the scepter for the Pope, and nobody knows why. The pineal gland is like it's a big sculpture in the Vatican. Nobody knows why. The pineal gland is said to be the third eye. The Egyptians drew all these pictures and etched it in stone like they did about Atlantis because they felt it was important for people to know what this thing is. There's something there. I won't convince you I know. I just know that there is something there. Thank you, Gerard. Your attempts to enlighten the human race. I'm not trying to enlighten the human race, John. All right, Brother John, I'm not. I mean, it's just my job to say what's true. It's everybody's job on this planet to actually say what's true. And I'm just doing my part. I think everybody's supposed to do that. You were sent here for a reason. I don't know why. You maybe don't know why. But we're supposed to say things that are true. We're not supposed to team up against each other. We're not supposed to get together and fight another team because they have a different skin color. We're not supposed to get together and fight somebody else because they got different colors. We're not supposed to get together and fight somebody else because they were born in a different country. We're not supposed to get together and fight somebody else because they got a flag that they like to sing praises to, and we got our idol flag we like to sing praises to. We got the golden calf. They got the golden bull or pig. Now it means we got to fight. To me, that's Cro-Magnon. That's just de-evolved nonsense. We're here to help each other. My opinion, if Gerard actually dug into facts into 9/11 and stayed on track and exposed the Zionists, he would get banned from Facebook. Then maybe everybody would wake up, see the facts. Just maybe we should have Gerard withdraw for about a month, and we would then have time to research it on our own. Oh, okay. You know what? Maybe, Deborah. I don't know. I don't know how this works. Maybe that's how it works. Maybe if I disappear, things that but I don't think I'm that important in terms of that. I don't think that I don't think they actually care. I don't think the people who did 9/11 actually care. I think it's us who's behind, sister. I think we're like, I believe there's a breakaway civilization because there always is. There's one in America. I can see everywhere. They're breakaway classes. They break away from everybody else. They're breakaway countries that break away from Latin America and South and Africa. They stole all their resources. There's always a breakaway civilization. Let me show my colonizer picture. Because they always steal technology, they steal resources and minerals. They got a jump ahead of everybody else, and they use it against other people. We have breakaway cliques of people. Some friends go to college, others don't. Some get ahead, others don't. So it makes sense that there's a breakaway human civilization that lives in space? To me, it does. Not just because the whistleblowers say it, who work for these deep state corporations and work on these black budget projects, but because it actually makes sense that there is a breakaway civilization. So I don't think they care about us. I don't think they care about me. I don't think I threaten them at all. I think that I get in my gas powered car and I go to work. I'm talking to you right now on, electricity that comes from nuclear energy, and they're far beyond that. I mean, we've been on this gas thing for how many years now? Over 100 years. Imagine what they're doing. Imagine, we went from the teletype to cell phones, and how long did it take us to do that? 50 years? 40 years? I think that because we've been so locked down on oil and gas and living in our false little world, that they are just so far beyond us. It doesn't matter anything that I say. Not, I think it probably matters to like the those in between, right? So I guess theoretically we could think about breakaway civilizations. Then there's probably those who are like super far, probably hundreds of years ahead of us, and they've said it. I think who was in it might be Bob Lazar who said that they're 100 in that in technology they're not 30 years ahead, that they're hundreds of years ahead of us in technology. I think that there's those in between, and there are probably those who are just ahead of us, and maybe they don't have nuclear energy for propulsion. Maybe they have electromagnetic gravitics, and others have photon energy, and others have 0 point energy. I think that how things work on our scale is how they work on that scale also. So I don't think they really care about me much. Let me see. I believe they have created hybrid humans who they control. Yeah, and Mary, they have to have had, right? We're making hybrid horses, so of course they're making hybrid humans. We're making hybrid plants, so of course they're making hybrid humans. They've been doing it for a long time. All right. Yeah, I'm running late, so I know some people got to run. But I figure I run late because there are a lot of people who can't watch Brother Steve. So I left early yesterday, so I promise I stay a little late today. Go get your butt cotton bag, brother. You can watch the rest later. But I'm gonna try to stay for a little bit longer, as long as people are here for a bit, just so folks who can't normally interact on the live stream can interact for a little bit. Our connection to the higher understanding. That's what I would do, Tanya. And that's what I'm thinking. Like that's how my mind works. I've been in IT for a very long time, and that's when we push updates to your computers. Like you ever turn your computer off and you think your computer's off, and it cuts on at 4 a.m. in the morning. We're installing patches. The operating system's doing. Actually, it's installing its updates. Why? Because you want to update at the lowest time of productivity. So theoretically, like I don't think that we got that idea from nowhere. I think we got that idea from our creators. That's what I think. So at nighttime, when we're asleep, it would make sense that they would upload information to us to help us to solve problems. You know, and it's not just that Edward Casey taught us that, but it makes a lot of sense. Why would you make something and not have any control over it? You make a puppet, you want to be able to control the puppet so the puppet doesn't do something stupid. You go for your a walk in the park with your dog. Do you keep it on a leash or do you let it run free? My brother lets it run free, and other people let it run free when they get to certain places, and that's crazy. But that's because they don't know what the coy wolf is. I told y'all to look at the coy wolf. Y'all didn't look at the coy wolf. It's because the coy wolf is around. And the coy wolf, it's a breed between coyote and the wolf. Because we killed off the North American wolf and we chased it up to Canada. And you can't go walking your dog in the park because the wolf bred with the coyotes, and now it's a phenomenal hunting creature that's learning to hunt our pets. So what the coy wolves do is they wait in the park, and they wait till you walk your dog off, let your dog off the, and they do things like called honey dicking. They do things to tease your dog, to get it into the woods. They'll play with it. They'll mimic the sound, and they'll run off in the woods. And your dog will chase after him, your German Shepherd. Oh, he'll be okay. He's a German Shepherd. He'll be okay. He's a Great Dane. Oh, he'll be okay. He's a Rottweiler. And he'll run in the woods, and guess what'll happen? The rest of the coy wolf waiting in the woods for Fido to come running through the woods. We're playing stick. We're running with the stick, and the coy wolf is going to devour your dog. So even nature, everything hybrids out. You know, everything learns to take in DNA from something else to become something better. So because nature does it, of course we do it. We have cellular memory. I think we tap into DNA and how it works in the natural world. So I think all of this, all of this together. You know, I think colonizers will colonize as long as you're there and you let them. Let me see. There's a NASA station in my small hometown air base, and very little is known what goes on there other than weather balloon launches. In Augustine, and that shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen. If we're an evolving society, we're evolving creatures, how in the hell do that groups that have secrets. It doesn't make any sense. That's really, really dumb, dangerous, and reckless. We're having children and we're raised in nations and societies that have secrets. How is that wise? When we know we can look back at history and these people always murder us. Those who show up who got better weapons kill everybody else. Look at the Native Americans. Look at people all over Latin America. It's crazy that we let anybody have any secrets anymore. It's insanity. The threat, Gerard, is revealing the truth to the masses, and they are frightened. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, Kevin. I think some are frightened, like the low-level, murdery bastards are frightened. Maybe the politicians. But the people who actually run the show, they're not frightened. Trump doesn't scare them one bit. That China, they don't even need the China shop anymore. Like, they're not, because I mean, think about the China shop. What is the China shop federal government? The China shop federal government, they need minerals. They need asteroid dust and oil. And that's what they're killing everybody over. But the people who actually own the China shop, they don't care if Trump destroys it. Why do they care? They don't care if you put Urkel in there and he knocks everything down. They don't care who you put in there. Mr. Bean, y'all remember Mr. Bean? They don't care if you put Mr. Bean in there and he breaks a bunch of stuff up. They don't care if you put Benny Hill in there. They own the China shop. They can get all new shelves. They can get all new. They don't even operate on the slavery we have slavery running for nowadays, right? And then you got the people who own multiple China shops. People who own the city. Got the people who might own the. I think there are layers upon layers upon layers of people who run all of this stuff, and we only get to know about the little ones who actually care. Those who own all of it, they could care less. You know, the same way we have class wars, right? The underclass fights the lower class. The lower class fights to keep the underclass, and the middle class fights the lower class, and the upper class can, you know, and the elites try to keep the upper class. Like, I think it's layers upon layers upon layers to this pyramid Ponzi scheme. Also, according to my parents, an abomination. Well, the pyramid is an abomination, Mahav. That's what you're talking about. It's an abomination that we let anybody die for where they were born. It's an abomination we let anybody die because they're in a different tribe. They were born in a different location. They've got a different skin color. They got a different flag. It's an abomination. It's a complete abomination that we turn on anybody because of these things. We are the abomination. That's why I think help is on the way. I kind of think help is on the way. So if you think about the pineal gland, you think about how we're like software, we're getting uploads every night, every time we go to sleep. There's help on the way. I think there's help on the way. I don't know if we all get to make it. I don't know if that help will get here soon enough. I just know that every time we get knocked back, you know, they say the human population's been knocked back to under 10,000 people. I think every time we get knocked back, we come forward. And we come forward because we got help. Somebody made us make billions of sperm every month for a reason. Because sometimes you might only have one guy left. You know, the guy's the dumb one. You know, the guy, that's why people say, why do men do? I think it's funny because we don't have fear. We don't have the fear that smaller people have, right? The bigger you are, the less fear you have. And while that helped us during scarce times when we had to survive, it really is a detriment now that we have more stable, not civilized, but more stable areas that we live. So why do men do dumb things? Why do they drink beer and get on the bull till they fall off? Why do they go get naked? Why do you even have a hashtag hold my beer? You have a hashtag hold my beer because we evolved not being afraid of thrills. We evolved doing these wild things to feed the tribe. We evolved to bring home the bacon, and that's why we go do it. But I find it interesting in today's society that we use that as a form of racism against men. The same way, you know, the female in her, not weakness, but her inability to have that strength against her. And we've always used that against her. You know, but now we live in a time where we come back and these things actually make sense, that guys do dumb things now because they have no fear of doing dumb things back then. How dumb is it to run and kill a woolly mammoth? That is really dumb, but if you don't do it, you die. And so you evolve this need for this thrill over time. And these things are used against us to get us to divide up and fight. There's a ton of information out there. It's not MSN. No, Lori, it's not. Because everybody watches MSN, and any channel that becomes big gets co-opted. If I get too big, I'll be on here saying, trust your government. Y'all got to get together. We need to go vote. We got to get Trump out of there. He's the worst thing in the world. He's causing climate change. He built the military-industrial complex. He's causing black lives to not matter. He's racist. If I got big, that's exactly what I'd say. Don't know why. All we know is when something gets big, it gets taken over. If it gets big, it starts lying to us. So I don't ever want to get big. We don't need anything to be big anyway. We don't need an MSN and MSNBC. We need to get rid of the Telecommunication Act. We need to break up all the monopolies and have lots of small media and independent voices. That's how you have a democracy. Every community should have their own little radio station or something. They got their own thoughts. The mass take in the thoughts of them. Don't call them crazy country hillbilly bastards. Don't call them stupid and whatever. You know, everybody's got a different experience. And when everyone's allowed to have their own thoughts, we all get better. The pyramids, some type of energy system, and form a stellar communication and transportation. Suzanne, I believe you. And I think it makes sense. If you look at the quartz crystal and how crystals actually channel energy, most of the internal parts of the pyramid were actually made from quartz rock, quartz crystal, then yeah, it's channeling energy. Outside the fact they use science to study that, and they know that, and it changed sensor technology and it changed solar panel technology from how it channels energy. We know it channels energy. The real question is, Susan, is who did it and why? Perhaps why are they still using it? That might be the real question. They see pyramids over the they see UFOs over the pyramids all the time. All the time. Why do you talk about aliens all the time? Because it's important that we talk about aliens. It's important that you know that you're not alone in this universe. It is very important to everything, to all of your politics. It's important that you focus on the things that matter most in this universe. That's why I asked the question the other day. What year was Washington invaded by UFOs? A lot of people, they forgot about it. We have short memory. We forgot that all the UFOs showed up and flew over the White House, and they scrambled the jets to go. And they, well, I don't know if they were jets or airplanes. I forgot at that propeller planes. I don't know. They might have been P-51s, but they scrambled the jets to go after them. And then the UFOs disappeared. They left. And the jets, they run on fossil fuels. They flew around for a little bit and they had to go land. They went to go land. The UFO, how many was it? Like 13 of them or something? It's important that people realize that all the 14 that released all of their alien UFO files, they're not lying. All of this happened. You say, well, why don't the aliens talk to us? What do you think that was? What kind of message do you think that sends when aliens fly over the White House to let you know, damn it, we're here. You can live better. Don't kill each other. We got all types of technology that pull power from 0 point. Stop murdering each other. Stop believing your psychopathic Federal Reserve government murdering people over stuff that you don't have to. The aliens talk to us all the damn time. You just have to have ears to hear. Not MSN. Reality. They did it again at the Battle for Los Angeles. The alien ship that just came over there and just hovered in Los Angeles. And everybody was shooting at it. They got the army out there shooting. People died that night. They were trying to shoot the hell out of that thing. This is fake news. This is real news. This is information that should be on every damn channel all over this world all the time. They tried to shoot it. They couldn't shoot it. And the UFO was sitting there like, listen, you can't kill us. Y'all know you can't kill us. Use bombs and shells that explode on chemistry. We taught the Egyptians what chemistry is. That's why they named the place Kemet, damn it. Y'all don't have to follow these dummies anymore. You don't need military. You don't need to kill each other. You don't need governments. We're much better. But we're not landing for a reason. We're not talking to government for a reason. Well, why won't they land and say, talk to my leader? Like, y'all remember that? How back when we grew up, the aliens always land, take me to your leader. They don't want to talk to your leader, obviously. They don't want to have anything to do with Washington, with Moscow, with Britain, with London. They don't want to talk to them. They're already talking to you. And they've already sent the messages that they need to. That we're living in a false reality. Pay attention. That's why I ask these questions. And like, why you talk about aliens? People aren't taking you serious. You don't talk about aliens. You talk about aliens too much. I'm like, listen, I talk about it because it's the only thing that actually is serious. It's the only thing that actually, when you know that there is something better, people do better. That's why you have religions. That's why people wrote all of these things down when they saw all of these aliens and these star people coming out the sky. Because there's something better. But you got to live like how they thought to get the better. That's why all the, 99% probably of all these religions, they all tell you the same thing. Love each other. Take care of each other. Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and under God what is God's. The world is your family. You all started in some sort of a Garden of Eden. You're all cousins all over this planet. They told us. And every now and then they'll show up and remind us. You know, how many mass sightings have you seen? In New York City, Phoenix, Arizona. You know, of course, now a lot of them, because the governments want to be God, they've got their own UFOs that they fly over and they want to act like they're God. Maybe they blew up the transformer in New York. I don't know. You know, but to me, that's the only important thing, is that we do have something better, because people will fight you all day long. You're talking about utopia. Utopia doesn't exist. And I'm like, no, it actually, it's not utopia, but what they have is utopia to us. They don't have violence, probably. They don't have conflict. So from a social perspective, hell yeah, we need to know who the aliens are. From an energy perspective, hell yeah, we need to know who the aliens are. And see how all of that ties together? Get rid of the violence, get to talk to the aliens, get rid of the petroleum, actually get to keep a planet and stop changing the climate, stop destroying it. All right, y'all got me down in UFO land. What are y'all talking about? Telling too much truth. They're trying to chop the audio. Yeah, well, you know how it goes. You've been here, you know how that goes. It was UFOs. We're the aliens. All they saw was UFO, unidentified flying object. That's all we know. That's right, again, and I agree, and I know what you're saying. I do. I think most of the UFOs, they're Americans. They're Americans, they're Chinese, and they're Russians, and they're Britons. They're soldiers. Ships. I agree, totally. But we did that because we're mimicking what we've always seen. We're doing that because they probably found a few ships, like Bob Lazar said, in their reverse engineering. And they drew aliens on walls and UFOs, and so all of that, I believe all of them over the government all the time. All the government only been here for 50 minutes. The government just got here. They've been here a long time. So I think that's important. I think some of them are either aliens or from the future or multi-dimensional creatures. Like, I don't know, what it is. I just know that there's better than what we got. And we don't have to agree on if they're aliens or what they are, but we have to agree on there's more than what we got, because all the governments take all the UFOs seriously. They all released their 15 governments released all their UFO files. They all take it very seriously. They all got these programs. They got that new show. What's the name of that new show? Project Bluebeam, where they're talking, they're slowly releasing people, but all the governments take UFOs extremely seriously. They shut nuclear power plant, the nuclear missile sites, like they take them very seriously. They just don't talk about it to us. They don't want us thinking there's anything better than them. Right? Like jealousy, like back to the analogy, the drunken nationalism versus familyism. The father. You ever notice the drunk father behaves when a bigger man is around? You ever notice how nice he gets? His uncles come over, they're a little bigger than him. He act like he's right, or mom. come over. He acts like he has some sense. You always act like you have some sense when the bigger, stronger, powerful forces around, but you don't want people to know that they're around. So in that example, our governments, yeah, of course they hide the fact that these things exist the best they can. They don't want us to know that there's anybody bigger and stronger on the block than them. I tell you a real story. I have a son. I love these kids to death. They're crazy as hell. I have a son who used to actually get together with his friends in high school, and they would go to their friend's house whose father used to beat up her mother. And the friends would my son, he was never around. The guys, like, where you going? I'm going out. You know, I found out where they were going. They would go to her house because her father or stepfather used to beat up her mother and her. And he would behave when they're there, and that's why they would go. So you had 3 or 4 high school boys all sitting around, and the father wouldn't abuse them while they were around. Now my son is crazy. He's nuts. He's like me. He's like he doesn't have any fear. He'll go do dumb things. He still got that evolved thing, you know. But when something is stronger and bigger and better or more risky around, you don't abuse as much. When UFOs fly around, the government acts right, you know, but that's why they don't want people to know. They, for the most part, they keep it secret because they want to be they want to wear the big pants. They want to be the big man, you know. But anyway, so I think that's how I think all that works. I stayed late today. I'm on here late. Let me see what we got. Y'all still hanging around? Okay, well we can keep chatting for a little bit longer. Then I'm about to get out of here. But yeah, so I'm good with the bull in the china shop. If you came in late, I'm good with it. I'm good with it. My only interest, if y'all want to replace Trump, don't impeach him. Just replace him with somebody that's going to break up even more. That's what I want. Replace him with somebody that's going to break up more China in there. That'll be a great thing. All right, what else we got here? That's why no governments will take the weapons to Antarctica. Oh, I didn't know that, John. Is that true? I didn't know that. I thought that they had bases. Aren't there like 20 bases, 200 bases in Antarctica? Don't they? I thought they had that, but I know that they won't let private people go there. They won't let private citizens. Like, you know, there are a lot of people who work there and they limit their, you know, how far they can go and where they can go. And Antarctica is a big place. I think our brother's stationed there, or step brother, something like that. And he just said, oh, I go down there, I drive around, they let me do anything I want, let me see anything I want. And Antarctica is it's as big as the United States of America. It's kind of a big spot. You know, and it's like the brother Gusson was just talking about. It's not so much that you can't drive around all over America, but they got private sites I can't see anything about. You know, that's where one place I'll agree with the flat earthers. We need to know what's true in Antarctica. I don't know if it's a big ice wall and, you know, how, but they shouldn't have any secrets. There shouldn't be any secrets anywhere. Especially with like Lake Vostok. Like, I love that. The fact that there is a lake the Russians found under the ocean or under the ice, like under 2 miles of ice, I think. They found a heat source under there. Something's hot. Might be, you know, so there's life under there. And somebody says it's Atlantis. I don't think that's true, but could it be an old battery that they use for something to levitate and build some of the stone megaliths all over this planet? Yeah, it might be. Could be. We still don't know who built megaliths all over this planet. Let me see. We're making pizza on the dark side of the moon with China. You coming, G? No, I ain't going, gal. You can go with them. I don't know. No, I'm not sure. Yeah, people say that there's enough oxygen to breathe on the moon and Mars. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. All I know, the dark side of the moon, we can't see it for a reason. You know, that the moon is in the orbit it is for a particular reason. Something was trying to send us a message. That's another UFO alien message. The moon, right? The moon, the orbit it's in, it's unrealistic. It's actually mathematically impossible for it to be where it is and to only show us one side. The fact that it is at just the right distance and it's just the right size that we have a solar eclipse. And then we got people all over this world who worship the solar eclipse. Like, oh, they worship it because it looked like a deity and and they made it a god. No, it's because the gods actually put it right where it is as a hint. So when we developed mathematics, and they taught us mathematics, but when we understood the mathematics, we would know the moon is right where it is precisely for the reason for it would just block out the sun where you could only see the eclipse. To let everybody know. And then the ancients worshiped that. Why? Because the gods told them, the little g gods told them, that's why we put it there. You'll remember, we're here, we exist, we're in space, yes. Hello, come find us. Seek God, come find us, we're here. Don't kill each other, pretending we don't exist. We exist, we're up here. Here's a big sign of it. And NASA, it's like, they don't even hide that. It's mathematically impossible. We haven't found any planet, any moons anywhere that do what our moon does, and it's the exact size that it is. Because they left footprints, they're breadcrumbs. God wants us to seek it. We got to become little g gods. We got to get into space. But we don't get to get there, we don't stop killing each other. Sorry I haven't communicated much. I've heated water, washed my hair, made breakfast. Made breakfast in the van. You're not supposed to make breakfast in the van, not while you're driving. I hope somebody else is driving. Preparing to drive to the court site. Ooh, and the court site. That sounds interesting. That's okay, Linda. We know you're here. I know some people kind of listen, and this was a long talk this morning. I just wanted to stick around for a little longer so people who don't normally join in could join in. Plus, I ended early yesterday, Linda, so I was kind of wrong. I had to I had to have a conversation. I couldn't have people hearing, and it was just something I had to do at that exact moment. So what else? Let me see. What else are we talking about? The moon is perfectly scaled to the size of the sun, so the sun and the moon look the same size from the earth. Exactly, Susan. That's what I'm saying. Like these things that only we would understand once we got into space and we understood mathematics and we actually understood geometry and we started doing a little exploration with some probes to figure out that this is abnormal. This can't exist unless something actually put it there. Right? Like one of the things I find interesting too is, remember we sent that Obama sent the nuclear bomb to space. Do y'all remember that? They don't tell us anything. They don't tell us, but then they got to do something that's crazy and make it sound like it made good sense. And that's why I picked Obama, because he can make crazy things sound like they make sense to people who believe. And I don't believe anymore. Why the hell would you send a nuclear bomb to the moon and blow something up? And it was right before, who was going there? Was it India or China? I forgot who, and they blew something up. Oh, well, we want to see how much water's on the moon. Oh, yeah? And you just came up with that in the last week, and you just told about it in the last week? The scientists came up with that. You decided you're going to send a nuclear and blow up something on the moon in the last week, and you're just telling they did that intentionally. There was something that they were blowing up. They didn't want India or China or somebody to find. Or it was just something that's just way out there that I don't know anything about. But anytime your leaders, your deep state, your lords and kings that don't make any damn sense, it's because they don't want you to know what they're up to. They're doing something that's wrong. They're doing something they don't want you to know about. So always focus on what they don't tell you. Don't focus on what they do. Thanks for understanding. Heading to community sacred geometry, the aliens. Oh, yeah. Ooh, Linda, why don't you take me? I want to go too. Take pictures, take notes. What you find, post it. We are Earth human beings. We're just sensors all over this planet. We need your knowledge and your observation. Share it on social media, because there's no way the mainstream media is. They're always going to keep we got to act like a hive mind. I'm late to the discussion, so this might be redundant, but it's interesting that the moon does not rotate like planets. Any comments on this? Exactly, Tammy. That's what we were talking about. We were talking about the moon is natural. And enough people are saying that. You can go out and find it enough scientists and mathematicians and astrophysics, they're saying it. It's just, they don't like to talk about it, but they'll tell you the truth that it shouldn't exist. It can't be there. So China just landed the, what's it called? Chang'e Chang E4 just landed. Let me see if I can get a picture. Chang up, the American Polaroid camera that they always put on these satellites. That they always put these cameras that don't show any real detail because they don't want us to see. I think they always send up 2 cameras, or they can change the resolution. They always send up cameras that are like 30 or 40 years old to actually show us. Tell me if it's decent. They don't like this discussion at all. I'm getting constant interruptions. Yeah, well, you know, that's how it goes, y'all. That's how it goes. They're really shutting you down and starting to talk about Tang. Yeah, well, they don't like they don't want people looking up. You don't want people looking up. You want people looking at you. The king doesn't want you looking up. The king wants them looking. I can't even show nothing today. Hold on, let me turn that off. They don't want nothing today. They don't want me. Trump behind me. They like the comic, but they're not. Anytime I put up an image of space or anything, but that's important to do. And kind of like how Deborah said that maybe they'll shut it down eventually, maybe they won't. But what you have to talk about is you always got to talk about things that they don't talk about. Am I back? You always got to talk about the things that the media, because I mean, if you want me to lie to you, if you want me to tell you we need to go hate Trump and fight Trump, and the Republicans need to fight the Democrats need to fight the Republicans, and America needs to fight Russia, and America needs China. If you want me to say that, that's pointless. Why would I say what the mainstream media is saying? I always want to focus on what the kings aren't saying, what the lords, and that's what's important. I'm not sure if I'm back. Can y'all hear me now? Space is a hot issue. It is, Christine. It's a hot issue because space is a promise of something better. It is a promise of something significantly better than what we have now. And when you're like, from this morning's analogy, when the slaves on the plantation know there's a better life because master is breaking up dishes in the china shop, not a good master, but a little bit not connected, doesn't know how to run the plantation well to keep it nice, the slaves want to go. When there's somewhere to run, the slaves will run. When the inmates know how good life can be elsewhere, they want to get out of prison. That's why space is a hot issue, because what came here told all the tribes on all the continents to look up, look in the sky, to remind us in the future that there's something better. We don't have to live like this. We don't have to kill and murder each other. We don't have to live like we're crazy. We don't have to act psychopathic. We don't have to kill each other for minerals. We don't have to do any of the dumb things that we're doing. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. I would always encode the little genetic 98% monkeys I make so I could watch them, so I can upgrade them, and I would give them something hopeful to hope for in the future. You can call it a religion if you want. I don't think it makes it, if God is alien or not, I don't think it makes God any less omnipotent. This God thing is still a creator. But I think there's a big G God, and I think there are a lot of little G gods. And I think the big G God is the real creator. And because we're only 2% particles, everything else is a wave, we're only 2%, and that particle only exists when it's interacting. I think the creator actually did that. It created energy into matter. And that's what we see. And that's what all the little G gods and the planets and everything are. We need to seek big G God, but we're not going to ever find big G God if we keep counting each other over little G gods on a little planet. But that's what I would do. I would encode them, and I would tell them to seek me. Come find me. Don't stay on your little stupid planet killing each other. Come find me. And that's why I don't care 2020 who you're posting. There's just so much more important to do. Vote Elon Musk. Oh, aliens votes for Elon Musk for president, space president. I don't think they do, Genie. I don't think they do. I think Elon is nuts. I think he's a great guy. I think he probably is, but I think he has a little too much power. I don't think you can be a billionaire without it jacking you up a little bit. But I think he says more truth than everybody else. We got to be a dual planet species. We got to have a plan B. Always have a plan B, have a plan C. And Elon, he made that obvious. I think Elon, maybe he's in tap with something, maybe, but you got to have a backup plan. They're voting for Bernie in 2020. They're gonna vote. They're gonna vote for Giuliani in 2020 because Giuliani actually came out in support of Assange, which he's a psychopath. He's just doing it so he can be, y'all know he's crazy now. Now he's got to say something's true to pull it back so people will believe in him so they can run him. We need to be a multi-planet species. The Earth isn't. I don't think the Earth is going to make it. I think people are nuts. I think people are nuts because the environments that they're raised in are nuts, and I think we're going to destroy it. I think we're going to kill off all humans that live on Earth. So we got to be a multi-planet species. Y'all should watch that series Mars. That's what I'm gonna do when I turn this off. I think I'm behind. I think I missed the episode of Mars. Watch Mars. I approve of it. I approve of the message. They're talking about colonizing Mars. I think it's important discussion for the kids in the future because we are. And I think we need to start to philosophize and think about the problems and the challenges they're going to have becoming a multi-planet species. Think about it ahead of time. Think tank. What are corporations going to want to do on Mars? The same thing they're doing here. What are politicians going to want to do on Mars? The same thing they're doing here. What if we keep this idea of nations going? What will nations want to do on Mars, or will they want to fight over it? Right, like I think those are important discussions to think about going forward. So you should watch the series. It's a good. You don't watch Black Mirror. I'm gonna say that again. You need to be watching Black Mirror. Can't pass through the Van Allen radiation belt. I think I saw something on that, Alan. In terms of, I think the last thing I saw was that you can, but for a short period of time that you can. I think that came from folks. We actually never made it to the moon. I think we did. I think they lied about most of it, like they lie about everything else. I think they made up pictures, and I think it's proven. They didn't go on the engine that they say they did, and the engineer who developed that rocket said that there's no way they made it to the moon. But I think that we go too far and we pull facts, kind of fill in some of the dots and connect the dots. And I don't think we have to do that. I think we have enough information to know that they lied about it. And we should want to fight to know what's true instead of fighting the people who debate about, or speculate about what's true. And they can't have secrets. What place could be better than this beautiful planet in her restored health, which we could do if we could focus our energy, which we could do if we put our energy and focus there. But we have to, Tammy. We have to. But you know what? I got an imagination, Tammy. I got a big imagination, as if y'all don't already know that. I can imagine beautiful planets. I can imagine Earths that don't have our problem. I can imagine some amazing things that are beautiful that I'd love to see, and I think our children's children should have access to, and they should see too. But we got to fix this planet. I think that, we got to focus our energy, and I agree with you 100%. We have to focus our energies here. We have to focus our energies on our current ecosystem. We can plan making it to another ecosystem as we get rid of our psychopathic activity, but we got to save this planet. The water is rising. The waters are always rising. I'm gonna change my background picture because I've kind of shifted away from talking about the China shop. But the waters are always rising, right? I like this picture right here. The waters are always rising. And if we don't protect the earth from the waters that are always rising, we're going to be in big trouble. So I don't really like the word climate change. I like the I like the word ecosystem change. I like that phrase better because the waters are always rising and nobody debates that because it's obvious. Everywhere you look off the coastline, you see sunken civilizations. Um, so I'm okay with somebody who's clumsy with climate change. I'm okay with somebody who's clumsy with the big corporations that are screwing the planet up. I'm not okay with somebody who makes what they do look good. And unfortunately, that's what a PhD, highly educated, well connected in Washington always do. I don't want another Obama. I don't want another Clinton. I don't want another Trump that people believe in. I want somebody people don't. I want somebody that the media fights. I want someone, I'm not saying I want Trump. Don't know anything about Trump. I'm just saying that my friends who voted for Trump, I understand. I get it. I totally get it. People, there's a lot of false out there. Yeah, John, as there should be, because there's a lot of people who are there to stir. There are people who want attention. There are people who want big names. There are people who want to be popular. There are people who want to be leaders. They're not high up in the DNC and GOP, and so they have a different strategy from the community and from the places that have a different way of attaining popularity will lie about it. Because they can discredit the whole thing if they do. I know the CIA and the FBI are probably monkeying around in there because they don't want us monkeys finding out things that their predecessors lied about. But I also think, John, we got to make clean slates available. Like, why don't we really know much from government about, or ours particularly, about UFOs or aliens or 0 point energy and any of that? Because I think they know that they're in trouble. I think they know the same way that CIA, FBI, they know they're in trouble too. That if the people find out the things that they've actually been up to, the things that they've been lying about, because they just took a job, we'll kill them. We'll destroy them. We don't have a good record with violence. When we find out we're lied to and people died because of the lies and wars because of the lies, not just tar and feather. We don't tend to stop there. We tend to go as far as France and guillotines, right? I think we have to make we have to have some sort of, right? We have to have some sort of we understand you took the job and we forgive you. Like, we got to have something like that. We got to have something where the CIA, the FBIs and these groups, and probably people in government too, where they can have a clean slate if they come forward with the truth. We got to do something like that. Otherwise, they'll never come forward with the truth. They won't tell us. You'll have all of these the generals and the people who work on these black budget projects. You'll have them come forward and be honest about energy, but you'll never in any official capacity, especially not while they're serving. And that's what we need. We need people to come forward while they're serving, and they never will because they know we'll hang them. So I think that, but that's why I like the whole epigenetics environment makes people type of studies, the behavioral scientist studies that explain that we become creatures of our environment. You take a job in a black budget project, yeah, you're going to pay your mortgage like everybody else. So I think that would be important. I think we should probably talk about that at some point, making some sort of piece of legislation that protects whistleblowers. There's 100% total protection if you say what's true. And that's if you're a politician who actually believes in climate change and you know that we're hiding these 5,000 energy patents and other things we don't know, is you write an act. The Lying About Energy Act 2019. Everybody goes to prison for life if they don't come forward with new energy technologies that they've ever worked for on a project, are working for on a project, that there's no secrecy in energy in propulsion or energy development creation ever again. And you've got 30 days from the moment this bill is signed to come forward with everything you know. And if you don't, the penalty is death. It's a little dark. I was on a roll there. I kind of like a little bit. All right. Penalty is life imprisonment. Even if it's classified, life imprisonment if you hide any understanding about energy technologies that we could use to replace fossil fuels. They actually don't care. So they won't do it. They won't come forward with it because they don't care. They won't come forward with it because either they don't believe in climate change or they are just paid to make you upset about it while they keep doing it. 5 more minutes and I'm gonna get out of here. My butt hurts. I gotta get off of this. I'm sitting in the ocean and not really. It's just magic. Climate change seems kind of like season shifts here in California. It's either an elongated or short and accelerated season as they go here. Shorter, cooler summers. Yeah, you know what, Jeannie? I kind of agree with that, Jeannie. I think that the climate's always changing. I think that's science. It's always changing. You know, some of those changes are for a season, some are for years of a season, some are for decades of a season, and some might actually be for centuries, you know. But that's what people fight over knowing, and I'm not going to fight anybody that I know because I don't know. The only thing we know is the water's rising, but they can get people fighting. That's why they talk. That's why climate change is a hot topic. But it's important for people to identify that the politicians that talk about it actually don't give a damn about it, and they need to ask the question why. When people say love everyone, love is going to save the planet, I say under my breath, I wish I could love those damn Zionists. God help me, Deborah, but you have to. You have to. You know, same thing with the. So let me ask this question: Are all Zionists in agreement with the Zionists who are running the Zionists right now? I think that's a firm no. Right? Are all Jews happy with Zionism? The firm answer would have to be no. Are all Democrats happy with the leaders of the Democratic? That answer is always going to be no. Are all Republicans? And so psychopaths always hide in these groups. And I accept that if I were in a Zionist family and I attained some level of power and all the constructs, the information, the data, everything that I was given, brainwash me to believe that this is right. That if my people don't fight off these monsters trying to kill me, that my people won't have land and they'll murder me and my children and everybody around me. Right? We need Zionists to stand up against Zionism. We need Democrats to stand up against the DNC. We need Republicans to stand up against the GOP. We need the French to stand up against the French government. We need Americans to stand up. We need to stand up against the control structures. We need Catholic Church people to stand up against the priests who are raping kids. We need people, you know. Now, you know, maybe you have to love them from a distance, you know, maybe it's hard to understand, you know, but that's why I say we got to love everybody and just accept that everybody became their environment and give them all a means of getting out, give them all a means of escape, tell the truth. You know, when people police their own communities, good things happen. When they blindly follow them, bad things happen. So that's why I believe in, you know, we have to not take sides in anything and kind of accept that Israel and Palestine are just a really horrible situation. And we can either fight over which horrible wins, or we can just say all the horrible has to stop. You know, we have to take that peaceful position. You take a position where most Jews agree, probably most Zionists agree, and all of the Palestinians agree. Peace, safety, food, opportunity, you all agree. And so I think we always got to take that power position. We always got to take a position for the majority if we can. And now we have enough information to know that we can. We need Charlie Bucket to fight Willy Wonka's treatment of the Oompa Loompas. Yeah, we're surrounded. They got us surrounded. And that's exactly, Brother David. That's exactly what we need Jews to stand up against Zionism. Sadly, Many of my Jewish friends are silent. Right, Tammy, thank you. And I think you said that at the same time I said it. Good minds think alike. That's what we need. We totally need it. I mean, the Palestinians need that. The people in Gaza, the people who are under Netanyahu, they need that. And we're not going to get that if we keep fighting, yelling and screaming our hatred for what Netanyahu is doing in their name. The world would have invaded America a long time ago if they didn't understand that we aren't behind our federal government. We might be scared of our federal government, but most people aren't behind it. Otherwise, they would have given up all hope on us, and they would hate they don't hate every American. Like even 9/11, and those who were tricked by those who did 9/11, the mid-tier, and they targeted 9/11 for a reason. They targeted the buildings for a reason, the Pentagon and the Twin Towers for a reason. Why? They weren't attacking the American people. They were attacking the financial institutions, right? Always pay attention to the message. That's why the aliens were over the White House. That's why they shut down nuclear facilities. That's why the whistleblower from yesterday I posted talked about the missile test where they showed up and zapped the rocket, right? That's why they do it. They got the subtle messages. But we have to have critical thinking minds where we process all of these things and look for the message between the cracks. I think that part of is when whatever these little g or g God things are come to help us, provide something for us, is when we actually do what all the ancients told us to do. All right, I'm about to go. Let me see. We need to make it acceptable and not illegal to discuss whatever needs to be discussed, period. We cannot censor our free speech. Exactly, Deborah, which is why we got to stand up for all free speech. There is no hate speech. There's just speech we disagree with. There's speech that we might think is violent, where there's speech that we that doesn't make us feel comfortable. But all truth coming out is very important to know. That's why we got to stand up for people who say things we don't like. So maybe we can fix the things that we do that make them say things and not like us. All right, I'm about to wrap it up here. Don't agree, but he is his own person and must make his own decisions, informed. Dee, I don't know who you're disagreeing with. I thought we agreed on most things, or someone. Oh, okay, Luca. In fact, I gave Luca all of my information we discussed, and he opted to get vaccines. Now he is 15. Oh, did you? Okay. Dee, I'm gonna disagree with you. I know you disagree with Luca, and it's cool. I think it's important at 15 that you let him make that. I wouldn't, and I'm not. When my kids, when they turn 18, they can make that decision. But until then, when see the problem, and the reason why is because Luca is 15. Luca doesn't have a frontal lobe. He's an intelligent brother. I love your son. He is an intelligent young guy. But he doesn't have a frontal lobe yet. He doesn't know how divisive your world is. He doesn't know how lying our government is. He doesn't know that pharmaceutical industries own our government. He doesn't know that they buy our government and write legislation that funds money into propaganda, convincing people that the vaccine religion is the true religion. It's not. Luca doesn't know that. Neither do my sons. But my thing is when you're 26, you can actually, you may not have all the information, but at least you have a frontal lobe for decision making where you can make those decisions. And at that point, it's about getting them the right information so they can make that decision. Although it may not matter, because I think in some countries, and maybe Canada's one of them, that they can have anything they want. Like in America, I think now kids can have what is it? It's there's some sort of vaccine or some sort of shot that they can get, and they'll give it to them in school without your permission. So I think the children, I think as parents, we got to protect them. If you believe in vaccines, then that's what you believe. Then I guess you give your kids vaccines. I personally don't. I believe that we've been naturally vaccinating ourselves since the beginning of time. And I believe that that system that's been working well for billions of years is phenomenal. It works with our body phenomenally well. When I was a kid, we grew up swimming in rivers. We grew up playing in swamps and catching turtles, and we didn't wash our hands, dingling and playing with the jingling and dingling the alligator snapping tail. And then we go eat lunch. We go get our peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and we'd eat, and we wouldn't wash our hands. And as dangerous as all that is, it works well with our body. Every cell in our body knows what to do. It builds up a strong immune system. All mama didn't run around with antibacterial wipes wiping me, and I'm extremely healthy, and the people who came before us were strong and healthy. Going back in time, if human beings were as sick as they are today, there's no way we would have made it. If we had stomach viruses and flus and colds every 5 minutes, you think we could fight off grizzly bears and velociraptors and build houses and chop wood and grow food? And no, we are sick. And this is why I kind of believe some of those theories where they say that, some of the flu shots and vaccines can work. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm an anti-corporation lying herb. That's what I am. I know that corporations always lie and they buy the law. They lie. And I know people who worked on the flu shots who say that we should never take them. So man is as smart as he says he is. And I think that we work perfectly fine without them. I think they become something great, but they need to work on it a little longer. So I believe that things work the way they do. And I don't think we're smart enough. I don't think in labs they figured all that out yet. I think they're based on some solid theories, but I don't think they're perfect yet. I don't think they figured it out. I think they need more time in the lab, and I don't think Yep, I was vaccinated, I absolutely was as a child, but this was a long time ago. This is going back 40 years ago. They didn't have, what's the vaccine schedule now? Something like 26 vaccinations by the time you're like 3 or something crazy like that. So back then I probably got 3. Might have got 2, might have got 5. But we had nowhere near the destructive things that they have now with the MMR. And back then you didn't have like the whistleblower who came out and said the MMR is causing autism. We didn't have all of that. So I think that's important to remember. But plus back then our food wasn't being poisoned. So all of these things kind of feed in. We ate healthier back then. We didn't eat as much junk food back then. We didn't have pesticides and everything back then. Our immune system didn't have as much to fight back then. So I think it all rolls up into this perfect storm. Mumps outbreak at his school last year. I get that, Dee Dee. I'm still gonna disagree with you, sis. I wouldn't mess with it. If there's a mumps outbreak last year, my son would be staying home. He might have to get homeschooled for a year. He might do something, but here I've seen too much. I've seen too much. I worked in the pharmaceutical. I've seen too much. I've talked to too many people. No. I know enough doctors who do not vaccinate their children. Nope, I'm not going there. They need to figure that stuff out a little more. They need to spend a little more time with it. It's a little too buggy, I think. It's a fact that children develop stronger immune systems when they grow up around animals. Yes, they do, Tammy, because we adopt DNA from each other, right? That's how DNA works. It's always taking information, but not only that, the animals are learning how to fight the flus, the viruses, and we don't know how all that information transfers over. And plus, we're exposing kids to fighting different types of things until their immune system becomes more widely ranged and more robust. But the other thing I say on the vaccine thing is, I don't tell anybody to do it or don't do it. So let's be clear about that. I don't tell anybody to do it or don't do it. I just tell people I don't. That's all I'm gonna say. When I was a kid, my mom exposed us to measles, mumps, and chickenpox on purpose so we didn't have to get the shots. Exactly, Ellen, and it lasts forever, which is a whole good point that, there's an expiration on these vaccines and it's nonsense. When we just said, okay, little Ricky has chickenpox, guess what happened? Party at Ricky's house. We're like, yay, Mom said we're having a pizza party at Ricky's house and didn't tell us why. And we all go to Ricky's house and we all get chicken pox, you know, and it sucks for a little while, but our bodies learn to fight it in a perfect, permanent way, not a kind of sort of way that expires with vaccines. That's what I'm saying. They don't really know what they're doing yet. The other thing I'll say on that is there's not a human being on this planet that understands how the immune system works. Think about that for a minute. There's no technology on this planet that actually can tell you how the human body or works. That's all I need to know. Now, maybe for you, that doesn't answer the questions that you need to know, and your doctors and these corporations actually know as much as they're trained to show you that they do. I don't. I already know. Once they know what they're doing, human beings will live forever. Then I'll listen to everything they got to say. Until then, I know my body better than they do, and I'm not interested in them. I'm interested more in nature and how things have all evolved, not how they're paid to tell me that things work better. Yes, I've been focusing on my diet recently. I have stomach and intestinal issues, taking digestive enzymes, eliminate caffeine, etc. It's hard. I want my coffee. Kimberly, you can have my coffee from my cold dead hands. You know, I'm not, but I would, I think temporarily, if I had to, and if I had intestinal issues, I'd do it. The gut bacteria is very important. The flora and fauna is very important. What goes in, you know, when you have gut issues, you're supposed to eat a lot of raw foods. You're supposed to get bacteria in there. You're missing some of the bacteria. That's important. You got to go find your sister or your brother and eat after them. Get some of the bacteria that your body evolved with, because a lot of times when you take these antibiotics, they actually kill off a lot of the microbiology that work really well with your DNA that your mother handed down to you, your grandmother handed down to your grandmother, great grandmother handed down to her, great, you know. And so these bacteria move along with us, and they actually drive the human body. And nobody really understands how and why, but they target cancer, they target cells for death. Why? Because mostly, well, I'll say one of the reasons why is bacteria don't want to die. They don't want to kill the host. They actually want to exist with the host. The longer you live, the happier that bacteria is, and the happier their children are. So they want to keep you alive, and so they kill things that kill them. They destroy things that destroy your body. So I said a lot in a very short period of time, you know, but bacteria, it drives us in many ways we don't understand. It's like when you run up to the hot stove and you move your hand back quickly, is because the bacteria on your finger doesn't want to die, and its network of communication is faster than your what is it called, your sensors, your censoring, your nervous system. And that's when you touch a hot stove, your hand gets moved back before your brain even knew it was hot, because the bacteria on your hand don't want to die. So they drive a lot of things in us. And so gut bacteria is very important. So is eating food that feeds bacteria and not eating pesticide-drenched food that kills bacteria. You take probiotics. I don't know anything about probiotics, Kimberly. I mean, in terms of, they put a lot of bacteria in there. It's good. You know, and it's possible that a lot of the bacteria that work well with you are in them. I won't say anything bad about it. I'll just say that the companies that pick the bacteria that they put in there, they got to make sure they pick it right. Right? There's billions of different types of bacteria, and they pick the wrong ones, it doesn't help. They pick the right ones, it does. And maybe your body's attuned to the right ones, and the right ones thrive in your body. So if in the billions that they've decided to put in there are the right ones, then it should help you. But probiotics is drinking a smoothie, which it wouldn't rhyme. I haven't drunk a smoothie in a couple of days. I got to drink a smoothie today. I just take a bunch of fruits and vegetables, throw them in a blender with avocado and a little almond milk, and grind it all up, or maybe a banana or something for a little sweet. And I can drink anything. I'll drink cauliflower raw. I'll drink anything raw because there's a lot of probiotics on that. I'm minimal on the washing. I'm not big on washing. Not with chlorinated water, because I want the probiotics that are natural. I eat from garden all the time, Kimberly. When you're growing, when I'm in the garden in the spring, I'm eating from the garden all the time. I'll take a piece of lettuce, throw it right in my mouth. Now I do slug search. I would say that. I'm not like Brother Gown. Brother Gown don't even look for no slugs. Nah, he probably. I do slug search, especially with my basil and my mints. I'll check and make sure because the slugs like, I think I had a smoothie full of slugs once. I'm not gonna do that again. That made me as sick as the smoothie, or made me feel like I wanted to be sick, like my okra smoothie. You know, but all of that's probiotics. All of you want the bacteria that's in your environment. Your body needs to learn how to fight that. That's why if you go to a foreign country and you drink the water, you get sick because your body doesn't recognize that bacteria, doesn't know what to do with it. That's why when we go to Mars, we start drinking the water, we're probably going to die because our body doesn't know what to do with that bacteria. Over time, it'll learn, you know, but those are make us really sick. Meat is a big problem, especially the factory stuff is a killer on your intestines. I know, hard experience, been a vegan for 20 years and healthy since. Yeah, well, factory meats are a big issue, which is a good thing, Tam, why they're about to start printing meats and growing meats in factories. They'll grow healthier. You know, a lot of people say, I'm not going to eat it. I'm not gonna touch it. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. And if not, you better learn how to grow farm animals. The factories aren't going to do it. The factory's going to do the cheapest thing possible. But the good thing about those meats that they will produce, which I won't eat, by the way, I won't eat them. I'm not going to eat them. Not because better than the factory meats and they won't kill animals. I'm a vegetarian because I'm healthier as a vegetarian. I'm a vegetarian because we are evolved to process meat. We are not evolved well yet to process meat. And so meat causes a lot of problems while our bodies are learning how to process it. And I don't want to know how to process meat. I don't want to learn how to process meat. I don't want my body to learn how to do it. I want my body to learn to do other things. I want my body focused on other things, not learning how to eat animals or eat meat. I can get all the nutrients and things that I need from plants. And ever since I've been a vegetarian, I've been healthier. I've never gotten sick, colds, viruses, flus, any of that. You know, I don't tell people not to eat meat. That's on them. 7 billion different types of human beings on this planet. You got to do what works for you. I like how I feel when I get up in the morning and I don't get sick. Yes, kombucha, Didi. Kombucha is important. Kombucha is very important for gut bacteria. Fermenting foods, I would look up that. Very, very, very good idea. All right, I got to put on my ending music because y'all going to have me here for This is the last time I'm going to say I'm going to come over here and just talk to y'all are tired. Dang, y'all not tired. Y'all not, ow, my butt hurt. Oh my goodness. Ow. You ever try to sit up and you know your butt is flat? Like my butt is flat right now. I know my butt is round to the bottom part. It's probably flat because I've been sitting on this thing. I thought y'all would get tired somewhere around a minute, you know, hour and a half. Y'all, all right. Anyway, last couple comments and I'm gonna get out. Chart, I tagged you in an article regarding ancient Irish soils. It blends the probiotic issue with soil health and the superbug. All right, I'll take a look at it, Jeannie. Thank you. You know, and there is that genetic thing too, where if your people are from Ireland, your people are from Britain, your people are from the west coast of Africa, the south coast, your people are from Brazil, you really should be eating fruits and vegetables that come from those countries. Your body it's highly tuned to those countries and that bacteria. You know, Mary, if I had gut issues and I knew my genetics, I'd probably go back to some of the countries that my people came from. And I'd probably eat some of the foods there so I can get some of the bacteria there that maybe I lost over the voyages. That's one of the things Dr. Sebi believed in, that you're supposed to eat the things that the bacteria that come from where you evolved, where your body spent most time. And it actually makes good sense in theory to me. I'm not a fan of limited diets such as vegetarian diet. Well, Yvonne, the only thing I say to people is try different things and do what works for you, right? Try different things. I'm a trier. I like to try things. I tried vegan. I wanted to be a vegan. That wasn't going to work for me. So I ended up vegetarian. I'd love to be 100% raw. I'm not. But I tried different things, right? You know, I understand the bread sciences and celiac disease and stuff like that. I understand milk. And so I tried different things, and the things that work out, I keep. The things that don't work out, I don't. But within that, within the things that work, I have a very wide diet. So I don't discriminate on vegetables much. I throw them all together and eat them all up, except for that nasty thing that somebody just posted. That's the only vegetable that does not go in my gut. Every now and then it sneak in there because somebody tell me what's not in the food, but yeah, I don't do that. Radiation factory meats, no thanks. Exactly, Alan. So I think people will be healthier in time when they start growing meat and making sure that it's healthy and it doesn't have pesticides and herbicides and a lot of the ailments that the mammals that we eat have. New study shows that people who eat processed meat are 18% more likely to get cancer. I believe it. Makes perfectly good sense, Susan, because of all the different issues, right? The carcinogens are actually in the meat from the chemicals from the plants that the animals eat. The carcinogens are the medicines they inject in the planet or in the animals. The meat and the milk have casein in them, and the casein actually is a fertilizer to cancerous cells. You add all that up in a package of abuse and hatred and kicking an animal around and killing it with a back-end loader and a saw. Yeah, that damn thing's supposed to give everybody cancer. It's supposed to kill all of us. You know, it's crazy that we do that. You know, if you really want to eat animals, you know, I'll say this, if I really wanted to eat animals, I'd have a farm. Or I'd get to know a farmer that actually grows, you know, raises those animals and treats them well, and they're healthy and they eat real food that they're supposed to eat, not slop and slob and corn, but grazing on the planet like a normal creature. Like they evolved, eating the food they evolved. Eat the food you evolved on, and eat the food that ate the food. Maybe no. Eat the food you evolved on, and if you're gonna eat an animal, eat the food that it evolved on. That's what I want to say. But also make sure it lived a good life. Make sure that it had freedom. Make sure it was happy and it was healthy. Where's your favorite saying? What's your favorite thing to have for dinner? Curious. Me, Tina, my biggest problem is when I get locked into something, I eat too much of it. I get set in my ways. I think my favorite food right now might be China masala, maybe tikka masala. I love vegetarian sushi and a good real wasabi. I like, and some ginger. I like, sometimes I eat a smoothie for dinner. I like vegetable pizzas. I think Brother Gowns making vegetable pizza for everybody. I like vegetable pizza. I like veggie pizzas. I love pad thai. And I don't know what part of India it is. There's a lot of Indian food I like it's, I can't remember the names of everything. But I like a lot of Indian food. They have a very veggie, is it North or South India that has a very veggie-based culture? So I like that. I eat a lot of Indian food. I love it. I love a good sushi. I love, what is that stuff called? Tomato pie. I love tomato pie. Kids and I, we make a slamming tomato pie. I like a lot of tomato pie. But you know, the other thing is, I'm a big forager. Oh, by the way, so in my tomato pie though, it's just not tomatoes. It's not tomato in pie. It's the pie crust. I'll put everything in there. I'll put arugula, I'll put lettuce, I'll put peppers, I'll put lots of basil, tons and tons of basil. I once put sweet potatoes, I put onions, I'll put garlic. Like, it'll literally be like a vegetable pie, but it's delicious. I love tomato pie. And I'm a big time forager too. Like, I forage. Some nights I don't even eat dinner. I forage on stuff. I'll just eat a lot of just this, that, and the other. I eat when I'm hungry, and I don't eat when I'm not. Somebody said, who's that? Said South India. Thank you, Tina. South India. Oh no, Christine, South India. I forage all day long. Weird thing, I've been eating about 2 meals a day for the past, probably the past month and a half. Christmas time is a real busy time for me. When I'm hungry, I eat. When I'm not hungry, I don't eat. I don't force myself to eat, you know, and I find that works really well with my body, is to listen to my body. not listen to the 3 square meals a day, not listen to big corporations and the FDA. Most of the people in the FDA dying right now. Most of the people in the FDA sick as everybody else around the country. That should tell you everything you need to know. Most of the doctors take all the drugs they give you. That should tell you everything you need to know. You know, let me see. I run a goat group. One thing I do is coordinate slaughter of goats. That's about as fresh as I can get. African friends do the work themselves. My philosophy is that if I'm going to eat meat, I have to be willing to participate in the animal's death. I think that's important, Deborah. I think there's something to that. I think there's something to it. I think it's something to it when you respect a living thing. When you have respect for it. I think that you'll not only eat everything that you prepare, but you know the animal was loved. You know that how it was raised, you know how it died, and there's something psychological there about having a relationship with your food. I love my vegetables, and I eat them all up. And I love all the microbiology in there that murder my stomach all day long. Anyone noticing G's stream is smooth as silk now? Is it? Now that we're talking about food, not Zionist. Yeah, I know. That's just how the world is for now. That's just how, that's interesting. If that's true, there's no way I can tell because I can't tell from here. But that's interesting. I'm not talking about 9/11. We're not talking about Zionism. Now I'm talking about food. You know, I'm not talking about vaccines. I'm talking about food. And you're saying everything is crystal clear now. That should tell you everything you need to know. We don't need to say nothing else on that topic. I think all you got to do is just look at how the world really looks. Always read between the cracks. Read between the cracks. And in that way, Michael Bilbo, he's the one from the CIA that's monitoring me today. Hi, I'm from the CIA. I'm Michael Bilbo. I'll be censoring you today. You know, he's kind of helping us in a way. Because he's making it obvious to us in a really psychopathic deep state way, but he's still human. He's letting us know. Here are the things you can talk about, and here are the things you can't. And when you really focus on that, then you can actually start to see the problems. And he's helping us in that way. Censorship can be helpful if you pay attention to what is being censored. And then you can think about why, right? Because the people who really control things, the people who are really oppressing you, those are the ones that you'll never be allowed to talk about. Good point. Very good point. Very good point. Always read between the cracks. Remember, human life, it's not checkers, it's chess. Play it like it's chess. Think like it's chess. If you got an oligarchy, don't act like it's a democracy. Don't lie like it's a democracy. Don't vote like it's a democracy. If you got an oligarchy that runs the world, don't try to fix it with a hammer. Don't try to fix it with a vote. Fix it with something that actually fixes an oligarchy. You walk away from it. You can't fix it by voting. All you do is make it stronger. So 2020, I'm all about bulls breaking up the deep state China shop. I'm all about bulls breaking up the colonizing China shop. I'm all about bulls breaking up mass incarceration's China shop. If you're breaking it up, I don't have to like you, but I'm good with it. That's where I'm coming from. Let me see. Wait, your sound is wonky. Oh, Brother David's tripping. All right, listen, y'all. I got to go. My butt hurt. Man, I got to get up. I got to go do something. I got plants to grow today. I got propagation to do. Listen, great talk. Love y'all to death. Y'all have a great day. Good weekend. I think it's Friday. This is Gerard. I'm out of here.